Podcast is powered by Control. Control is a meal replacement and functional foods business whose mission is to improve the lifestyles of gamers and content creators by making them healthier. Their meal replacement shakes and meal on the go bars are the best tasting products in their category while also giving you all the protein, vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients you need to keep you going. Check out drinkcontrol.com and try out the sample kits to see what all the hype is about.
Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 151 of the Xbox Era podcast. I'm your host, Sika Mechanico, and I'm joined, as usual, by Special Nick.
What's going on?
Lots of fun stuff. And we've got Jesse in the background who's tightened up the stream even more. He's ground even more power out of his rig to give us a delicious 1440p resolution. It looks quite fancy.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Hi, Jesse.
Oh, yeah, wow, look at that.
It's fancy.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to keep the other light.
Yeah, I know. I was just experimenting. I was watching the feed and I'm like, I still look weird, but yeah, anyway.
Yeah, no, I put a LUT on there. I know it's really strong on your side. Sorry. It looks really nice on John's side, though.
I look really dark still. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he does too. And I don't look as nice anymore. Why don't you get, John, why don't you get a ring light? Like a cheap ring light.
There's one right here. Look, this is what happens when I turn it off. See?
Ah.
I do have one.
I'll try that.
So why not get a better one?
It's money in it.
I got about 300 LUTs. You want me to go through them all?
No one wants to see me in.
I don't know.
High
I think I
definition
look
and good
weird.
lighting.
I'm looking at the feed right now, and I think I look very odd.
Yeah, there's with nothing. There you go. That probably looks better. It's too
That's
strong.
better. And now just let
Yeah.
me go back to my warm light.
Oh, Jesus. It'll even out. You were super orange at first. You were pure jaundice.
Yeah, that's nice. That's better. That's better. That's much better. That's much better. Even John looks better.
Yeah, I tried.
I'll take it. I'll take
Okay.
it. I'll take it.
The LUT experiment is over.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's
What's been going on? Yes. Did I? Yeah.
Did
it
you?
was a short week.
Was it?
I had a day off in the middle of the week, and tomorrow is a public holiday, so 2 short weeks.
Well, you say that. You say not much, short week. But I'm already seeing a super chat from Phil Spencer saying there's a rumor that you boxed a kangaroo.
Boxed a kangaroo.
Is that true?
I don't know about that one. Maybe. I mean, I look okay, so obviously I came out the better in that fight. And Ursel, I pronounced that correctly this time instead of allowing my Australian phonetic reading of his name to make it awkward.
Yeah, very awkward.
I 1v1 John on his new map and won. That is all. We'll talk about what we've been playing.
Yeah, we'll get into that. So we'll get into that soon. But yeah, it's been. I've been in London all day today. I went out with the kiddos. We went to the Science Museum. It was lots of good fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, except they lock off all the really cool stuff like the Tesla coil and like all the really interactive stuff behind like another really expensive ticket that's like 16 quid for an adult and £10 for a 5-year-old. I'm like, are you kidding me? And we had like 4 kids with us, so it would have been silly money. And I was just like, nah, we're not doing this. Sorry, guys. We looked at all the free stuff. We're out of here. Everyone was tired at that point, but came back, had a lovely steak dinner. All sat around, enjoyed a chilled evening, and yeah, it's been a nice weekend so far. But there's been a lot of drama this week, right? A lot of video game drama in the world. It's got juicy out there, and look, chat. Nick stumbled upon the formula before we got started here. The rules and the math of this is simple. If you want us to talk about ABK, Nick, what are they got to do?
Hit that like button if you want us to talk ABK. And I was secretly hoping the likes wouldn't go up. And I was like, ooh, okay. Guess we don't have to talk about ABK. Amazing.
Yeah. So
the likes started to go up as so right now we're only at 35 likes. So that means no one wants us to talk about ABK, which is really good news.
That's how I take it, right? So
okay, now it just jumped up to 45.
Well, they really want us to talk about
It
ABK.
went from 35 to 45 like that.
Wow. Wow. What can I say? I have a feeling we're going to end up talking about ABK, but let's see how those likes turn up. It's got to be at least 50% of the people watching.
It's already past that. It's already past that.
Then they're good. Keep that up. All right. Let new people know. Remind them in the chat to hit that like button.
Let us know you really want to talk about ABK.
Really,
because we're not over it at all. We love talking about it. It's like
we
the
love
greatest thing ever.
It's my favorite.
Yeah,
but before we do get into the news of the week, and there is a lot of news, right? I think you've been playing any video games? Anything new?
I have new and old. So
new and old.
I got back into Halo. Haven't played Halo Infinite for a long time. Jumped back into Halo because of the season 3 stuff, just to check it out. Actually ended up playing with, who was it? I can't remember who was online at the time. There was Sol, there was Abe, Mike. Actually, at first it was just Mike and Sol, and I was playing matches with them on 240 ping.
Wow.
Still leading the team, which Sol can attest to. Yeah, tell them in the chat, Sol, please. Who was leading the team, even with 240 ping?
He actually just said goodbye, and he's going to listen tomorrow.
But man, some like God, it was, I'd shoot a rocket or I'd use that stupid banished spike thing.
Stalker.
And is that what it's called?
Skewer. The skewer, right?
Skewer. And like stuff's happening 3 seconds later. And like I had this one moment where a guy was coming at me with the sword. I have the rocket launcher, Escalation. I actually quite like Escalation. That's their version of gun game. It's their version of gun game.
It's a bit more unique because people were saying to me like, "Oh, it gets worse it kind of gets worse as you go along. You start like with rockets, right?" But I was like, "Well, it's quite cool because it pairs interesting weapons with each other, like you get and equipment, but the final round gives the other team a little bit of a chance to get wrong. Whereas in traditional gun game, if you've got all the really good guns and the other team's stuck with crap, then they're going to have a worse time. So I do like how they've done it. I think it's good.
Yeah, you do have some overlap moments. Like, oh God, I was ready to break my controller. I had this one moment where I've got the sword. I'm about to take this guy out. And all of a sudden, I switch to some crap gun and he just kills me. I'm like, oh, are you serious? But yeah, I've enjoying Escalation is quite good. I still hate King of the Hill. I still hate
really?
Yeah, I hate
good old fashioned Koth.
I hate King of the Hill. But Escalation I liked. I enjoyed Escalation because I was just trying to I'm still on the season 2 battle pass. I was level 50 when I started again. Wow. I'm now up to like I told you I haven't played Halo in ages. I'm level 50. I'm level 50 in Lone Wolves. I'm over the last couple of days I've gone up to like 63 now. And I'm just making my way through. I've completed that 10 level temp one that launched with season 3. What's it called? Starts with M. That little mini battle pass that they've got.
It's an event pass. It's part of the
event. whatever.
I can't remember what it's called, but yes, I know what you're talking about.
I've completed that one already. I'm doing the weekly now where I've just got to complete Mindful. Yes, thank you, Sol. I've just got to complete the weekly now, which is play 5 modes of the unlimited playlist. I think I've done 2 games of it. Got to do 3 more. I'll keep making my way through. I like that new gun. The
Bandit.
The Bandit. I don't mind it.
I really like it. I really like the
Bandit. I don't mind it.
I think it's the problem I have with the pistol is at range it becomes a spam fest and then it's kind of RNG luck as to who's going to get the hit. And the Bandit feels way more precise and way more punishing if you mess up. And I kind of like that. It's going to take a little getting used to, and I really hope there was a rumor. And indeed, if you load up the BTB Slayer game type, it's there as a secondary. So I have a feeling that's probably going to come sooner rather than later. But current BTB still has AR pistol. I hate that in BTB, so hopefully they'll add the bandit as a secondary.
Does the bandit not render the commando a little bit worthless?
Nah, different. It's a different style of gun. The commando is really terrifying to be smacked with in speed. It's a much quicker time to kill than the bandit.
Yeah, I guess so. The whole time I was playing with Sol and Mike couldn't stop laughing because I was just constantly complaining and like screaming and swearing.
That's Halo. That's how we play.
But because I was constantly playing on 200 plus ping, it was just infuriating. It was driving me absolutely crazy.
Were you host?
No.
You should have demanded host and made them suffer.
But they offered me host, and I did it once. I selected expanded at first, and I still ended up on 200 ping. Then I selected local as host, and I still ended up on 200 ping because I had 2 Americans with me, so it still put me on American servers.
Yeah. What do you think of, man? What do you think of the new maps? The 2 new arena maps first, I guess.
I hate the corridor one with the 2
Chasm?
Corridors.
I'm not a fan.
Hate it. Hate it.
I think it's and I know the map designer, right? And if he sees this clip, he'll probably be sad. But I am not a fan of the map. I feel like it is.
I don't like it.
It is. It's really, really punishing if you're an average Halo player against a really excellent one. More so than normal maps, but it also just is really infuriating to play because it just promotes the worst kind of campy bullshit gameplay.
Yeah, it's too open, and it's too open in the middle, and it should be banned from SWAT. That is
oh man, I can imagine those
atrocious.
sight lines.
Oh my god, how they've allowed that map into the SWAT rotation is just baffling. Like. But then again, it took them ages to realize that stupid desert map was bad for SWAT before they took it out of SWAT. What's it called? Starts with B.
Oh,
that
Behemoth?
desert one. Yeah, Behemoth. Like it took them ages to realize Behemoth was a stupid SWAT map. SWAT maps can't be open. You can't have an open SWAT map. It defeats the purpose. SWAT maps should be a maze or very closed, a lot of smaller closed areas or whatever. Like you can't have a SWAT map be this full-on open thing. It doesn't work.
Yeah, it's. I'm not a fan of that particular style of map. It's fine for social, but you're never going to see something like that in comp.
You know what Chasm could work for?
Though. What?
You know what Chasm could work for? Like, maybe you know how in escalation, the last level of escalation is skulls.
Yeah.
Skulls only could work on Chasm. That could work on Chasm. That could be fun. Everyone just has skulls and you're just like...
I love the shroud screen. I think the new equipment, the big cloud.
What does that do? Cool. Is that just that's not a bubble shield, is it?
No, it's not a shield, right? But you can put it down and completely block a line of sight for a few moments and allow for like a really cool getaway. Like I've used it in some really... The one thing I was hoping is like the... radar one, the location tag thingy, you can ping it to players and vehicles and it will follow them around and drag the bubble of influence around with it. Alas, I did test this. You can't stick the shroud screen to a player and then walk around as a big shroud screen.
Okay.
But it's good fun.
I kept seeing them everywhere. And my son walked in watching me play Halo and he wants to get back into Halo again. And he watched it. He saw the shroud and he's like, oh, that looks cool. What's that? So... I only used it a couple of times. I think I was just sprinting away. And the funny part is I've realized one thing I did by accident was I deployed it right next to a piece of cover. So I just made my way in, hid behind the cover, and he's obviously gone into this shroud looking for me, and I'm already behind this cover. So he's come out and I've just gone bang. It was good.
Yeah, that's the kind of cool, like blocking line of sight, causing a bit of confusion. It's good fun. Like,
yeah,
I really like that.
And they added those new cores as well.
Yeah, the new, oh man, my Master Builder skin for having a map in matchmaking.
Yeah,
it's rather cool. It's applicable to all the cores. and it's probably one of the best looking skins in the game. I think it's really sweet. I love it. Absolutely love it. Showing it off, represent. What do you think of Cliffhanger?
Which one's that one?
That's the outdoor snowy kind of big radar thingy that charges up arena map.
It's not bad. I don't mind it.
I really like it. I think I
don't mind it.
I don't think it's particularly great for like HCS ranked play, but for social, it's a really good fun. It feels more like a Halo map than many of the current Halo maps. So if this is the kind of quality that we can start to expect, I feel like Chasm was kind of like, most of the assets are built for the campaign, just throw it together and get it out as an extra piece of content. But Cliffhanger, I think, is really good.
Like Cliffhanger is this to me. Cliffhanger would work for SWAT better.
Yeah,
because it's got that mix. It's got that mix of in and out. You can hide. Like it's open. There's that whole open area, but you're not exposed in that open area the way you are in Behemoth.
Yeah, the angles are a little bit less brutal.
Yeah, it is a better map, and I'm sure it'll grow on me. I played One Flag on it. It's a really good One Flag map.
Yeah, it's
very good One Flag map.
Good fun. I really enjoy it. I think they've done a really good, solid update. They've broken a lot of things. 120 FPS was broken. Yeah, it was capped at like 90. It felt really juddery even then.
I didn't again because my TV has VRR. I don't seem to notice that stuff.
Yeah, I kind of felt
fine to me.
It wasn't terrible, but I did feel it. And like they kept resetting your controls. It keeps playing the cinematic every time you load the game at the moment.
I know that's a bit annoying.
I
love the new title screens. The new title screens are great.
I love that they're trying to tell a story in multiplayer. Like I'm actually quite enjoying the new animations themselves.
I skip all that.
Okay.
I haven't watched them. I saw it go previously on Halo, and I'm like, skip. Yeah, I like the title. I'm a big fan of those title screen changes because the original title screen was boring.
Yeah,
like that is the one thing that came out of that 2020 demo that was amazing. Was that title screen?
Yeah.
That title screen from the 2020 demo,
with the old school Forerunner ring, and it just had the.
Yep.
Yeah, it was very cool.
That was by far the best thing to come out of 2020. What I wish they'd do is, it'd be great if they could give us the option to like rotate title screens and give us a few. But I like that. Is it Pierre? Is it Pierre that now runs 343?
Yeah, Pierre Hines.
I like that he's doing what they've done in Master Chief Collection. I like that Master Chief Collection kept changing its title screen to something new.
It makes it feel a little bit more alive.
Yeah. And change is as good as a holiday. So it gives it a bit of a freshen up. I like it. Like we said, if given the job Pierre's done with Master Chief Collection, he's probably the right guy to take over Infinite. Hopefully Infinite in another 12 months will be something very, very good, like Master Chief Collection is now so amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've enjoyed most stuff. No, so I'm not saying to sell different screens. I'm saying like have a bunch already in there, and then you can pick one if you like a wallpaper as your title screen. Like I'd love to have that one from the 2020 demo. Man, I love that title screen. It was such a downgrade in the final product. Like, I love you go into the campaign now, and then you see Chief in the ship, and he turns around and he looks at the camera. It looks great. Chief's model looks great in that.
Yeah, it looks so. Why doesn't it look like that all the time?
Yeah, like how good does he look in that model? Like, again, I know that's not what he's going to look like in game, but just for that title screen, you select campaign and there's Chief and he turns around and looks at it. It looks awesome. It looks so good.
Yeah,
I really like it.
It does. I've also been, as well as playing, I've been doing some forging. Had a little fun moment on Twitter last night where it felt like half of the 343 dev team were tagging each other going, "Oh, space combat. I made a mission like this." I've been working with a guy called Quatsi and Captain Punch, who are two scripting gurus, and we've recreated a 50% scale model of the Pillar of Autumn from Reach.
Yeah, I saw that.
That looks very nifty. And we did a playtest last night, and then we did a playtest literally an hour and a half on the Xbox Series Twitch channel, and managed to get a little bit of a trailer. So like, I'll let Jesse play it, but it looks pretty cool. I'm really pleased.
How come there's no thumbnail for that trailer?
I don't know. Predrag was going to make one, and then he didn't.
Yeah, some just forgot. All right, I'm going to play it, and it has audio. So here we go.
Destroying my OCD.
Enjoy some Halo music. I'll get him to do it, Nick.
Put it at 80%.
I think it looks pretty good. I literally threw this together in 25 minutes, this little trailer. It's fun. So, yeah, people, if you want to play test it, we'll be showing it off.
Yep. Would the audio version here have heard that music and stuff?
Yes, I had the music playing through the desktop, so it's still playing now. I just lowered it a bunch so people can actually hear you.
Because that could have been awkward.
Yeah.
No, I made sure I swapped this over to desktop audio, and I'm sure I'll forget later, and we'll be talking, and the show will be over, and Nick will say something terrible, and we'll get canceled.
We'll be
Something
cancelled.
terrible about Seamus.
Fun times.
So aside from Halo, talked a lot about Halo just then.
Yeah. What are you?
I've also been playing the Resident Evil 4 Chainsaw demo. Yeah, that's been good. It's been it's short.
It's one of your favorite games of all time, right?
Resident Evil 4. Yeah, I guess you could say that. I mean, the original Resident Evil 4 hasn't aged the best because of those tank controls.
Yeah.
Which is obviously why the remake exists. But yeah, this demo, it almost reminds me of PT in a way, in that people are organically discovering new stuff about this demo as they play through it. So I booted it up I installed it on both, on PS5 and Series X. Played it on Xbox, had it in performance mode with ray tracing on, went through, died like so fast because I forgot, because it's been so long since I've played Resident Evil 4 that I forgot that bit at the start where you're in the village and they're all trying to kill you. I forgot that you've just got to last as long as you can. The point isn't to kill everyone, and I forgot that. So at the start, I went in there I just tried to kill everyone and died quite quickly. And then I played it on PlayStation 5 immediately after, just to give it a go and see how it feels with the DualSense and all that. And something I immediately noticed was that it felt better on PS5. And I'm like, the aiming and everything just feels better. What the hell's going on? So on the Discord this morning, I was asking about it, and others were like, yeah. Resident Evil 4 has carried over the dead zone problem that apparently Resident Evil 8 has on Xbox, which I didn't know about. I haven't played Resident Evil 8, but apparently Resident Evil 8 has some weird dead zone issue on Xbox that has carried over into Resident Evil 4.
Nope.
I have no idea, but it feels weird. I was doing so much tweaking of the camera acceleration and the max speed to try and get it to feel better on Xbox. But I'm talking in terms of just general control, gunplay, and all that. The PS5 version feels a lot better. The other thing I noticed immediately between switching from Xbox to PS5 was how much lower res the PS5 version looked. Like, I noticed it immediately. So that was, again, still gorgeous. But it was weird how noticeable it was, even to my eyes. But it was good. Like people have found this thing where, and again, I don't know how people discover these secrets about a demo, right? Like kind of like how PT had. So someone discovered that you can get the submachine gun in this demo and then keep it for each subsequent playthrough. And what you have to do is right before you open the doors to the village, you have to discard everything you're carrying. And this well is in the background and it doesn't have a gate in front of it anymore. And you can go down this well and the submachine gun's down there. And I'm like, how did someone discover this? How did someone just decide to walk up to the doors of the village and go, I'm just going to dump all my shit, see what happens? Like, I'm always fascinated by that. How did this person discover that if they dump all this stuff? I feel like the devs must leak that, surely.
I think someone tells someone. It's like the first games that develops that achievement of kill a developer, and then it goes viral if you kill someone who's killed someone who's killed a developer.
Yeah.
And then it just spirals out. So yeah, it's probably something like that, right? But then I never underestimate how mental some people are at finding secret stuff out. Like you hear about it all the time. Like 20 years later, they found this secret.
Yeah, like who thinks to dump all their stuff before heading into the main fight of the game? Who thinks to dump all their stuff? Who?
God knows.
And that's what makes me think just like a dev leaked it. A dev told a YouTuber, this YouTuber's gone and done it. Hey, everyone, look what I discovered. Like, because I'm sorry, but no normal person would think of that. Would think to just dump all their stuff to find that secret.
Yeah.
But yeah, aside from that, it's good. Really pretty, just like Resident Evil 2 remake. Yeah, scary. You probably won't want to play it.
Yeah, probably never touched it in my life.
It still bothers me a little bit how headshots don't really have that much effect. I know it's always been that way in Resident Evil, kind of, but like,
it feels like that's a natural instinct, isn't it?
It is. Like it's a natural instinct to headshot someone, and that's an instant kill. Especially in a game when you can get swarmed with zombies. Like it seems like a logical
want a quick
thing.
way of dispatching them so that you can try and survive better.
Yeah. But yeah, they moderned it up a little bit, added a few things. And it's good. I'll probably, now that I've got the TMP unlocked, I played it. I got the TMP just before we went live, just before we jumped into StreamYard. I quickly got the TMP. So I'll probably play it a couple more times with the TMP from the start, see how powerful I can be, see how many people I can take out. I set a cow on fire, and then the cow just starts running around the village on fire. It's pretty funny. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I'm looking forward to the game. I mean, I'm going to still pester Hagit Chani to buy it for me.
Oh my God, you need to stop doing this to people. You need to stop doing this to people. If you want to pester people to buy you stuff, get people to pay for your ridiculously expensive flight to LA, please.
Yeah, that's
some crazy shit.
I've found some pretty good prices, like premium economy and even business class, like completely reasonable prices. I'm willing. Air New Zealand, I looked into it. Air New Zealand has a pretty good premium economy. So I'm tempted to maybe go Air New Zealand to get to LA.
You're going to pay the difference between economy to premium, right?
Why?
Because no one else is flying premium economy. If we can,
but no one else is flying 20 hours.
Well, you should live somewhere closer.
Oh, I should live somewhere closer. Maybe Xbox shouldn't be racist against Australians.
Oh, well, that would cancel.
That Airbnb that you linked was quite nice.
I know, right? My lady friend found that. And she was like, "This is cool." I was like, "Yeah,
yeah." That's like,
in the small print. It says no filming. If you want to film, you have to come and discuss with us. So presumably, people probably look at it and go, "That's cool." So we'll have to have a conversation.
My wife saw that and she was like, "Whoa, that looks really cool." I'm like,
I imagine that's mostly about porn.
Yeah, it's probably.
Yes, that's what that's the first thing I thought of when John just said that. I'm like, well, that does look like a place where people
web browsing
film porn.
Yeah.
Like, So I can understand why they probably put that rule in place.
We'll see if we can get it. I mean, I'm really hopeful we can do it. It's looking really good. It's looking really good. So yeah,
I am approved to go to E3 as press.
As am I. I got my pass. Nick, you filled in your form, right?
What form?
Exactly.
Oh, here we go again.
Yep. I pinged everyone on the Discord about it.
This man doesn't read his messages, folks.
I know.
This is how hard it is to work with a business partner.
I'm in like 24 Discords, and I get pinged in all of them.
The important channel that we have.
You know, the one that manages the entire projects, that one.
I've been going in that one. I don't understand why I don't see all those pings.
You need to.
I didn't fill that. Everyone ping. It wasn't even a here ping. It was.
So is it too late for me to fill in that form, or can I still do it?
Go fill it in.
It's in June, man.
Yeah, you got time.
I don't know.
You got time.
I know. Moham. I didn't say I'd pay the difference to upgrade from economy. I said I'd pay the difference to upgrade from economy to business. I didn't say anything about premium economy. And Air New Zealand's premium economy is quite reasonably priced. It is. It's quite reasonably priced.
My ticket, as the second furthest away, for a return, it was around 700 to 750 quid. So
how is it so much cheaper than mine? How is it so much cheaper?
I will fly back of the bus and shit. I don't care. Like
I think Nick, John has a lot more places that can do like transfers and stuff. You're just going over the ocean, and there's pretty much just you in Hawaii.
Oh, it's a non-stop flight for me as well.
Oh,
it's a non-stop. There's only
my flight with I think the flight I saw with Air New Zealand might have a stopover or something like that, which maybe is part of the reason it's cheaper. I don't know, but I found one that was fairly reasonably priced.
The killer for me is I checked my passport and I was like, oh crap, it expires September this year, and everyone was like, oh, you need to go get that renewed now then, because you've got to have a minimum of 6 months left on your passport or they'll get really fussy. And I'm like, what's the point of an expiry date then? Oh, it expires on this date, but actually it's 6 months before.
What is the point of an expiry date on a passport? What am I missing?
So you stay in a country indefinitely or something. I don't know, but you can just do that anyway. Like they're not going to suddenly go, oh, I don't know. It's weird to me.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it just bugged me.
I renewed mine. I renewed mine when we went to Greece, so I should be okay with mine.
And you'll need to do an ESTA as well, Nick.
A what?
An ESTA, ESTA. You have to pay $4 to the US government to have permission to come to America.
$4.
Yeah, so it's probably like 1,000 in Australian dollars.
I'll just stay home.
I ain't paying them shit.
Give it $4. I can get a coffee with that.
Yeah, exactly. But it's looking good. So the plan is still on. I personally, so E3, Microsoft show is June the 11th with a Starfield Direct the day after. That's the Sunday, right? E3 is from like the Tuesday to.
I thought the Starfield Direct is literally directly after.
Yeah, literally.
Oh, I think you said the day after. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I got mixed up.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, then you've got 2 dev days from the 13th to the 15th, and then you've got consumer days from like the 16th to the 17th or 15th to the 17th. My personal thoughts are I don't really care about the consumer days. I will probably bail, because I've got to worry about the kids and get back and stuff.
And we couldn't even get in on that last day because we're not there paying to be as consumers.
Exactly.
So the E3 pass that you two got, is that for E3 or for Microsoft's thing?
That is for E3.
Yeah, it's for E3. Microsoft's a different kettle of fish. So we'll speak to Xbox PR about that. Because what are we salty about, Nick? What are we salty about this week when it comes to Microsoft and Xbox PR and Bethesda PR? What are we feeling salty about?
Oh yeah. I love that I love that thumbnail that I made.
Next week.
I love that thumbnail now. But
it'll be very relevant soon.
Yeah, we'll talk about how salty we are, but like speaking of food, at least what we need to do, and me and Jesse we just need John to, when we're flying over to LA, rather than eating the crappy airplane food, I'm just going to bring some of this stuff. I'm just going to bring some control with me. And that's it. I'm set for the whole flight. I don't even have to worry about it. without having to eat any crappy airline food. So if you want to fly to LA without eating crappy airline food, go to drinkcontrol.com/Xbox Hero and use our code 10% off and have that as your airplane food. So much nicer. Yeah. See how seamless that was?
Yes, it's smooth. Like Control. Deliciously smooth.
As long as you shake it properly.
Yeah.
Just make sure you shake it properly.
Don't make lumpy. So anyway.
Yes, what are we salty about? We are salty that we weren't important enough and big enough to get invited to play Redfall. Like, come on. I know we're not a huge outlet. We are well aware of that. Don't they know who we
are, though?
We are well aware of the fact that we are not a huge outlet, but we're also bigger than some other outlets that did get invited. So,
yeah.
Obviously, my skills at pissing people off are still being proven all the time.
Do you know what, though? Do you know what? I think well, we might be known to Xbox, and this is again bugs me about Xbox is we're making all these acquisitions, but I feel like the two teams need to talk more because we're not particularly well known with Bethesda, even though we were recently featured in their kind of like
Hi-Fi Rush marketing.
Yeah, like it's hard being a
we set the tone for Hi-Fi Rush.
We were the first review out there.
We set the tone.
He did it.
Yeah, but he's part of Xbox Era.
I know. With the royal we.
Yes. We, Xbox Era, set the momentum and the tone. We single-handedly set the positive tone. We are the reason that Hi-Fi Rush didn't get a chance to be shit on by trolls and fanboys on Twitter.
It's true.
That was us. That was us.
Yeah.
We had that first review been one of those little outlier metros. Hi-Fi Rush is cartoony and shit. And
that's great, but we can't give it enough credit because they haven't.
If it was one of those outlier reviews that set the tone, mate, be a very different scenario now. But we got out in front.
Yeah,
we were like, no, this is a fantastic game.
It is a fantastic game.
Recognize.
Yeah. So
game recognized game.
Bethesda, kind of sad. Redfall, 1 out of 10. Yeah. Now what?
Yeah, I'll be looking forward to that Redfall review. Let me review it.
Do you know what? I tell you what. Where I think the publishers need to. I don't know. I hate the word influencer. Right? I do. I despise it. Right? But that's what YouTubers are classed as. And I think.
But we're not. I don't influence anything. No one listens to me.
Hang on a sec. So we're not just, and I think this is the differentiation of Xbox here, right? We're not just a publication. We do delve into personality. We do podcasts. We do shows. We are a little bit more than the written word, the written score on the end of a page. Like there's more to us.
So are most outlets these days.
Are they?
Like look at IGN.
I can say Kind of Funny, and I can say IGN, and I can say Giant Bomb. But after that, when was the last time I saw a Kotaku video or a Eurogamer? I know they have video teams, but I don't know. I feel like there's a difference. I don't know. It's hard to put into words, and I'm probably not being very articulate about it. But
I think I know what you're saying. I just
we are both, right? We're a publication. And more than that, and I think that the publication part can sometimes get in the way, where they're like, we just have to worry about them for review time, and that bugs me.
Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe
I don't know. Content creators, yes. Do we create?
I do love the thumbnail that I made for that, though. Did you see it? The Stonecutters.
Yeah, I saw the Simpsons Stonecutters reference. Yeah,
everyone will get to see it in once the previews are up. We'll use it that week.
Yeah. I put it on Twitter anyway. But I replaced all the Stonecutters logos with Redfall logos. And instead of having that Bible or whatever that Homer has, it's the Redfall invite that they got.
Beautiful. Can we have like a roundup article of like, hey everyone, here's all the roundups for the preview that we didn't get invited to. # still salty, and then we'll just at it to a bunch of Bethesda PR folks across the UK and the US, and then and just leave it like that. Leave it there, out there in the open.
Well, you know what they did, John, after their influencer and content creator thing? They had a press thing. We weren't in that either.
I know. It's like, guys, what the fuck?
See, you all think we're just Xbox fanboys in Microsoft's pocket. Not quite the opposite. It's probably because I spend so much time shitting on Microsoft that we don't get invited to it.
Yeah, man. I'm still getting over the debacle. The fallout of previous to the Phil Spencer interview. Still battling through that. Yeah, still on
everyone's like, you're in Xbox's pocket. No, we're not. We're not.
They occasionally remember we exist. Hey, guys, you got any Age of Empires 2 on console codes? Sorry, it's limited.
Anyway.
I mean, I got followed by Aaron Greenberg on Twitter.
I saw. That
was completely random. I have no idea why.
Maybe he was in a good mood. He was like, Jesse seems like a nice fellow.
Yes,
so we're salty about Redfield. Other people are salty about Redfall.
Redfall.
Resident Evil was in my head still. Redfall.
Starfall and Redfield?
Yeah, fuck hell.
Is it me or are they better names?
Maybe.
Starfall and Redfield. I think they're better names.
Should go join their marketing team.
They shall henceforth be known as Starfall and Redfield.
Yes. But speaking of tons of salt, whilst we're salty about not getting Redfall invites, it seems the internet is simultaneously salty and kind of happy in that Starfield finally has a confirmed, locked in, not going to move again release date of September the 9th.
9th of June? Yes, we were right. June.
Man, that was the date I'd seen.
9th of June,
the 9th of June. And it's like, oh, fuck, it was the American date. So I was like, oh, my God. So, yeah.
It's actually September 6th. You said the 9th?
Yes, I know.
We were saying, we were joking around 9th of June.
That's what we all thought it was.
I know, but you said September. You said it is September 9th at the beginning. It is actually September 6th.
It's very confusing. Dates.
I mean,
September 6th.
And to be honest, I was reading that from the notes where it says Starfield release date September 9th in our show notes. So I'm going to blame whoever wrote that. Nick.
That wasn't me. That wasn't me. I didn't put it.
It looks like it was typed by you.
Oh wait, or did I?
You did.
Did I?
Still confusing that June date. But I've seen really cool Starfield footage. Looks much better. Obviously, we're getting a direct, so they're going to do their Microsoft Xbox presser, and it's not called the Xbox and Bethesda Showcase anymore. It's just the Xbox show, and then they're having a Starfield direct straight after that show on June 11th.
Xbox Games Showcase.
Yeah.
So Bethesda is now fully integrated.
There's nothing to show.
What?
All that.
I don't think they have anything to show.
That is technically true. Oh, it depends. They might want to show Indiana Jones. What if they want to show Indiana Jones or something?
I don't think if they had something to show, I bet you it'd still be called Xbox and Bethesda, like the direct developer direct was.
We will find out. But we were half right. We said we thought it would be June, but then at the same time, we're like, why not just push it to the second half of the year so you have a big game for the second half of the year?
Yeah,
they took our advice.
Yeah,
I am claiming that as them taking our advice.
Okay, but lots of people are apparently very upset that Microsoft promised all of these games would be out in the 12 months. And I'm like,
how are we still on this? How are we? I don't understand how. Like, we live in a world post 2020 where we just understand that almost every game gets delayed. Why will we, like, that wasn't a binding contract.
No,
like,
but they made a promise, Nick.
How is them saying, tell me something, how is them saying these are the games you'll be able to play in the next 12 months any different to me saying our game is coming out on the 11th, 22, and then it gets delayed? How is that any different? It's just a standard delay. Like, I don't understand why this is still persisting in, oh my God, they broke it. Like, I I still don't get it. I'm seeing people on Twitter like going all in on this 12-month thing. I'm like, why do you care so much? Who cares? Like, why is this such a big deal to people? I don't understand. John's muted.
I put an image up.
Sorry, my mute button stopped working. Do you know what I find really strange? The image you put up is super zoomed in, so you can only see like a few games.
Yes.
But
It's about the bottom right.
Okay.
It says.
All titles are targeting, but that's what you just expect. Like when Microsoft said you'll be playing these in the next 12 months, I'm like, okay, so they're hoping to have all these games out in the next 12 months. But I didn't sit there in my notebook and go, on the 11th of June, 2022, Microsoft said, I'm going to be playing all these games in the next 12 months. And if they're not out in the next 12 months, I'm going to get my pitchfork out and just stick them in the face with it.
Do you know what blows my mind? Like truly, and this is, I find it so bizarre. As a main platform like player of Xbox, that's my main platform, right? I am drowning in choices of things to play.
I know.
Right? I'm literally drowning in video games. I get tons all the time added to Game Pass. I'm like, ooh, and I try it out and I enjoy it, and it's great. And I'm having a fine old time. Right? I am not lacking for entertainment on my console. Right? And then we still have this pervasive, repeated, frankly now false narrative. Repeated ad nauseam.
No games.
When are they going to get some games out? I'm like, am I living in fucking bizarre land?
It's like this weird like, goal. I don't know. It's these weird rules that people have.
If the Game Pass subscription is performing really well and they've had loads of hit games, it doesn't count unless it's first party games. But then if they release first party games, but they were Bethesda, then it doesn't count. So they've got to release stuff from these others. And it's like the goalposts are just moving. And it's not Twitter randoms repeating this and talking about it and making that repeat change. It's people I respect and know in the industry where I'm like, why are you taking that tact, man? Like, I don't understand it. And then I think
stuff like games, it doesn't really count if it's a delayed 2022 game. You know, is it really the same thing if it's a delayed 2022 game? It's just weird takes like that. Like, I don't know. Like, Jesse has said this 100 times. If you have a Game Pass subscription and there's a really good game in that Game Pass subscription, does it ultimately matter if it's first party, third party, indie, AAA, sport? Like, you've got your subscription and your subscription has provided you with good content. I'm not understanding what the problem is.
I mean,
I don't know.
If we look at that list, Jesse, can you pull up that list again?
I don't know.
Just do me a favor here. Like, can we just think about this just for a sec? If you can pull up that list, I'm waiting for it.
Like, there's actual genuine, real stuff in the video game industry to complain about. Like, genuinely real stuff. Like the OS not being 4K. Like when your UI on your 4K console is not 4K.
Yeah, that was an important campaign you had.
That's something worth complaining about.
If we look at this image, right? And I'm just going to try and really see something else. So, going from the top left, right? Elder Scrolls Online, Naraka Black, Blade Point, As Dusk Falls, Horizon, Sea of Thieves. These are all. Yeah, I'm looking at these. These are all out. These are all out now. Then I look at
the 2022 side is
done.
Out.
Right. And then if we look at 2023, right?
Yeah.
So Diablo has got a date, right? And it's just in the window, right? Legends has got a date. Redfall's got a date. Forza Motorsport hasn't, and that's probably going to be
second half.
Yeah, October probably. But outside of those two, Stalker 2 hasn't
Dead Space already out.
Dead Space. The majority of these are good. So outside of the first party stuff, are we going to start holding Microsoft to account for Valorant not arriving before June 2023?
Or Stalker 2?
Because they've just been told by the partners these dates are going to happen. But as anyone with a brain knows, game dev is actually...
Games get delayed. Like,
the Valorant, League of Legends, Runeterra, those are all the perks that they announced.
Hold on, Valorant or Valheim?
Valorant's in there. Like that whole Riot row is about the perks of getting all the characters unlocked.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
there
yeah.
are PC store versions of that. So it is
Resident
on
Evil
PC
4 is
Gaming.
coming. Last Case of Benedict Fox. That one did have a date.
It's still April 27th.
It's still
April. Oh man, if that gets delayed, oh boy, we better
Starfield
get
and
real
Forza
upset.
Motorsport are pretty much the only real delays. So I'm like,
but again, like, is there a shortage of games to play? This is such a problem for your life.
I'm just looking at the chat, and let's have a talk about the chat for a moment, right? Because they've fallen behind. Xbox Expansion Pass. Luke Law, really nice guy. Go check out his YouTube channel. It's awesome. I've been on the show. He's a cool guy. We should have him on at some point. Luke Law, EXP.
Okay. I don't know. He hasn't asked me to be on.
I'll ping you some details. Yeah, well, I'm more likable than you. But he's put in the chat Age of Empires 4, Hi-Fi Rush, Redfall, Starfield, Forza, all this year, Halo Season 3 and Season 4, Elder Scrolls Online, Sea of Thieves, and how much more. That's amazing. Xbox is already doing so well this year. And we don't even know what else is coming second half of the year outside of Starfield and Forza. Like,
well, we assume Forza because they haven't dated Forza. So we assume second half of the year.
Forza would be an easy shadow drop.
But I don't know. It's just I feel like it's a weird in a year where there are so many games to play, more games than you will ever have time in your like. You probably couldn't play all of 2023's games if you spent the rest of your life trying to play them. And yet it's the worst thing ever that Starfield got unofficially, silently delayed by 3 months. If June 2023 was the deadline that it was meant to be out by, because everyone's saying it was delayed because they said June 2023, it didn't make it by June 2023, which means it's technically a delay. But even if we use that kind of
out.
Weird logic, it's 3 months. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
I struggled to care about stuff like this.
Yeah.
And to see how upset it makes grown adults on social media is just baffling to me.
Well,
kids, you understand. Kids like as you get older, you come to the realization that sometimes it's easy to forget. And you've got 2 kids, I've got 2 kids. You see the stuff that kids get stressed about, and your first instinct is to be like, just shut the fuck up and just calm down. But you forget that children don't have much else in their life. So little things are a big deal to children, right? Because they don't have responsibilities like we do. They don't have to work. They don't have bills to pay. They don't have to keep a roof over someone's head. They don't have to worry about anything. So little things mean a lot to children. I don't understand why these things mean a lot to adults. It's so weird. It's so weird. Oh, man. They said 12 months, and it didn't make the 12 months.
Like, Brit in the chat.
Someone get the CMA on the line. Come on.
Well, 2, 1. Brit in the chat just saw the IGN PlayStation podcast. PlayStation's announced more game adaptations than new games. Wow. But on the note of call the CMA, well, we can't talk about that, Nick. I'll tell you why we can't talk about that. And for the 200 odd people that are watching now, before we started the show, Nick joked in the chat before we went live that unless we've got at least 50% of the people watching have hit that like button, we're just not going to talk about ABK.
No,
so
ABK.
if you don't want to talk about ABK, don't hit the like button. And
don't hit that like button.
If you want to talk about
look, we'll see if we get to ABK because we'll keep an eye on the likes because I really don't want to talk about ABK. But there was other stuff. So there was the Capcom Spotlight.
Yeah.
Which was their little, my God, talk about ripping off Nintendo Direct. There was the Capcom Spotlight where they showed, for some reason, Mega Man Network X Legacy's not coming to Xbox when all the other Mega Man games are on Xbox. It's just like, what? It's Mega Man. It's not some niche JRPG, which maybe isn't as popular on Xbox, which is why so many of them skip. It's Mega Man. All the other Mega Man games are on Xbox. Why would that not be coming? I feel like it's getting to the point where Japanese publishers and developers are just waiting for Game Pass money.
I think it goes to maybe they just don't want to develop for Xbox, man. Maybe they just don't want to develop for Xbox. Maybe they just don't care. Stupid American console. Whatevs. Don't want to. Maybe, I don't know.
But Capcom's always had a decent relationship with Xbox.
They have Exoprimal launching into Game Pass.
That's what I mean. That's why I'm like, are Capcom just waiting for smaller stuff? Are they just waiting for Game Pass money?
God knows.
That's what it feels like. Because obviously Resident Evil's huge, so they're not going to skip Xbox on Resident Evil, knowing they'll sell so much of it on Xbox. But something like a Mega Man collection or whatever, maybe they think, probably not going to sell a ton of copies. How about we wait for a Game Pass deal and then get that free Game Pass money and sell some copies on top? Maybe that's what's happening. I don't know. It seems odd.
It is so weird.
Again, this isn't Square. This is Capcom. Street Fighter 6 still continues to look really good. I still can't believe what's his face is coming back. Ghost Trick. Trick? Is it Ghost Trick? There's Maximo and Power Stone just sitting there, and they bring back Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective. Not that Ghost Trick wasn't a cool game, don't get me wrong, but we're talking about Maximo and Power Stone here. Especially Power Stone. In a time when arena brawlers are sort of a bit more prominent now, as if you don't bring the OG back.
Yeah.
And so, well, okay, don't worry about multiverses. Don't worry about Rumbleverse. Here's Power Stone. And now that Capcom, there's a lot more Capcom IPs out there with a bit more recognition, maybe make it their Smash Brothers Power Stone. So you've got your original roster, and you can chuck in someone from Resident Evil, chuck in a couple of Street Fighter characters, chuck in some characters from Monster Hunter into Power Stone and turn it into their Smash Brothers. Oh, God. The Capcom, I'm here. I can make you lots of money. Just come on. I can make you a lot of money, Capcom. Reach out. I'll give you my email. My Xbox Zero email. But yeah, so the Capcom Direct, what else did we have? Now, here was an interesting one. I didn't watch this show, but there was a Paradox show.
I co-streamed it.
Paradox. What was that, Jesse?
I co-streamed it. It was really weird. It was very European. They did a rave at the end and techno music, but it was good.
And it was presented by Xbox. Isn't that funny? And this isn't me saying, do you remember? I can't remember if it was a rumor mill or if it was on Twitter.
It was a rumor mill.
It was a rumor mill. And I had said that Paradox and Microsoft are in talks. And I said back then, I don't know what these talks involved. I don't know if it's about a Game Pass deal. I don't know if it's about acquisition. I don't know what it's about. But ever since then, we saw a bunch of Paradox stuff to come to Game Pass. Why is this show presented by Xbox? How deep is this partnership? Funny that, isn't it?
And we've got Cities Skylines 2
straight into Game Pass,
which is a pretty big deal. Apparently,
the first one was a very popular game. I never played it.
Popular game.
Oh yeah, it's huge. Many dozens of millions of people playing it.
And we also had the Lamplighters League, right? Which is what is it? It's not RTS. It's a strategy. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. It's coming as well. Straight onto Game Pass, and it looks to be exclusive for now. I don't think any other platforms were announced, right?
No, nothing. Right. It's just Xbox, and it's the Shadowrun team.
Yeah, Harebrained Schemes is the team that are doing it. So it's just, I feel like the momentum behind the platform at the moment is really solid, really solid for Microsoft.
I was listening to podcasts all last week that were very much Xbox's 2017 dead. I don't know.
I still think those games need to come out, like Starfield, Redfall, Forza. They're big games, just to appease the masses in the media. But yeah, for regular Joes, like I said, there's too much there. And I forgot about Exoprimal. Straight into Game Pass too from the Capcom show.
Yep.
There was rumors of that, I think. Or was that just...
That was me, Nick, on our Discord, and then Cloudroll ran with it. I actually found the store listing for Exoprimal listed cloud. And the only things that are in the cloud are Game Pass games.
Game Pass. Okay. Yeah. Because I remember someone in the Discord asked me to ask around, saying, hey, is Exoprimal coming to Game Pass? So I asked, and I had heard, not at the moment, but that was like back in December. So maybe this was a deal that was done rather quickly.
January.
Yeah, so I don't know. But it'd be good. A game like Exoprimal needs that population. It needs it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Paradox Show. What else was there? Was there anything else? I mean, we forgot to mention last week how a team from Xbox went and visited Kojima-san at his studio. God, his studio is so pretentious and fart sniffy. Like it's you walk in and you can feel the people going, just taking a huge whiff of their own farts. It was very nice, though. It was a nice looking studio, but yeah. Did you see the entrance? They had their camera. The doors opened and there's Kojima there. Like, oh my God.
Do you think he does that for everyone that's coming in?
He probably just lives there at that spot so that when someone walks in, he's the first thing they see.
Yeah. It's totally like wow moment
for sure. And that was like apparently the first time they signed the deal with him probably ages ago, and that was the first time they were allegedly visiting him. So what have they been doing all this time? That game probably hasn't been started. Whatever that game is, probably hasn't been started yet.
Death Stranding first. Death Stranding 2.
Oh yeah. Gotta appease Jimbo before you start the Xbox game.
Let's get some cool hoodies together and wear them.
Yeah.
Anyway. Oh bless him. Our good pal Aaron. I've seen a lot of people. There's one guy on Twitter that's refusing to become a patron until Aaron Greenbag's been on our podcast. So we're down one patron. Thanks to Aaron.
You guys tag him? Can you all tag him? Like, I need help. Like,
yeah, you gotta go.
I can send him a direct message now.
Anyone.
Oh yeah, you can too.
From Xbox.
Well, then do it, man. Do something.
I
can't just all be me.
I have already.
But yeah.
Jesus.
Well, let's have a look. I've changed my mind. It has to be a minimum of 75% likes before we talk about ABK.
We're just going to keep pushing that number out in the hopes we don't have to talk about it.
Well,
so anyway, name a game.
The thing is, to press like is such an inconsequential act. It's like
it's so easy,
or it's click. So you can even use your nose if you've got, your hands are busy, you're doing something.
Press like
maybe you like
if
the
you
show.
Don't want me to have this delicious coffee. Press like, or I'll have it.
He's gonna drink it.
I'm seeing him
people
go
are
down.
disliking now.
I'm
They're
seeing
taking
him
away
go
likes.
down, so they really want me to drink this coffee. Okay.
Classic.
Oh God. ABK. It will never end. It's never gonna end. And I've watched a few other podcasts and YouTubers and stuff talk about ABK, and they're so passionate. Like they're so into it. Like, I understand that I get going once I start, but I still dread it.
It makes people watch. That's the thing. Like, and don't get me wrong, I want our audience to enjoy the conversation, and maybe we've got a unique take on the situation. I doubt it. Maybe they just want to hear a Nick rant. I don't know. Maybe they want to hear a sick rant. Who knows?
I feel like so much of the stuff coming out, we already spoke about, like, at the start of last year. Like, yeah, Lulu, who I know a lot of people don't like Lulu, but she's rather funny. She basically, now I don't know if she was meant to do that. I've got a funny feeling because she's the chief of communications or something, isn't she? Isn't she chief communications officer for ABK?
I think she corrected someone that isn't her role.
Is she CCO or COO?
I can't remember.
I think I said COO on Twitter, but I think it's CCO, Chief Communications Officer, or something like that. So if she's the head, Mort, you don't reckon I've tried?
Get Lulu on the show.
If she's the head of communications and she on Twitter outs Jim Ryan
directly,
what?
She just directly outs him.
She just outs him.
Oh, it's glorious, isn't it?
She
really?
knows what she's doing. She clearly knows what she's doing. Like, and people are like, she's probably lying.
I don't think so.
Really? Is that what you think? Is that what you believe the CCO of Activision is doing? You think she's just straight up lying on
I loved it. Tom Warren was like, when was this? And she just straight away clapped back.
Feb 21.
21st.
Now, if you go back and have a look, remember that meme she tweeted? Do you remember that meme she tweeted on the bike with Sony on the bike? Maybe just go and have a look at the date that meme was tweeted. You know what date it was?
February 21.
Feb 21. So if she's lying about Jim, man, she's played a long game on that one. She's played a really long game on that one.
Like, that is mask
Look at the date on that tweet. Feb 21. So she's either played a super long game on that, or she's out of Jim Ryan. It's one or the other. But the funny thing is, I'm seeing the way people are reacting. Is anyone actually surprised that what Jim Ryan said?
I kind of respect it and wish that had been the tagline from the beginning.
From the start.
Rather than
you know why it wasn't though? There's remember, these guys all have to play the game. So Jim Ryan, even though, I mean, I'm pretty sure we said this a year ago that Sony don't want concessions. They just don't want it to happen. Why the hell would they? Like, I've always said, Sony are doing what you would expect Sony to do. They're protecting their best interests. Like, no one should be shocked that PlayStation don't want their biggest revenue stream potentially being taken away. Because in the end, like, so I used to assume, Chief Communications Officer. That's what I said.
Yeah, I'm saying you had it right. The website got that wrong and said something different, but I'm not sure what they said.
Did it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, like, Microsoft has offered the 10-year licensing deal for COD, and Sony's like, whatever, stick it up your ass. And I was under the impression that if Microsoft offers that deal, they have to stick to it. Should ABK go through? That's what I assumed. But I'm not so sure anymore. And the reason I'm not sure, and this is just me pondering now, if Microsoft are forced to stick to that 10-year licensing agreement, why do the CMA keep talking like they don't?
So
that makes me think that Microsoft don't actually have to stick to what they say, because the CMA keeps bringing up crap like, well, you said you were going to do this in the past and you didn't. And you said you were going to do this in the past and you didn't. So that leads me to believe that Microsoft actually doesn't have to stick to it. And if they want to pull COD, they can. That, again, that's just based on what the CMA keeps saying. Like, it makes me feel like Microsoft don't actually have to stick to their word if they don't want to.
So what we've got to bear in mind is all of the stuff that's been released, we're not considering any of the PR campaign that Microsoft went on about 10-year deals for Nintendo and 10-year deals for Valve and 10-year deals for, NVIDIA GeForce. That's a PR campaign to get ahead of, I presume, what they're feeling is negative headwind and beat it to the punch. But none of the CMA's findings had taken into account any of the behavioral things that they had suggested, i.e., 10-year deals, strict, concise contracting, employing a third party to monitor that they adhere to what they'll do, all of that jazz. The CMA's findings don't care about that. The final findings, the decision, is what will take that stuff. Okay, so what are you going to do if you want this to be as it is without divesting COD or any of that jazz? So I think that's the distinction you kind of got to make. Like, it sounds weird because, like, come on, it's real time. You can read the news as Microsoft do this, but it's just the way they do their paperwork.
Yeah, but like, I think I said this a couple of weeks back. If Sony don't sign the deal, if Sony don't sign the licensing deal by the time ABK closes, if it closes, but it is looking like it's going to close now more than ever, then Microsoft can technically do what they want.
Technically, yes.
So with Nintendo and Nvidia, I'll say it properly. Sorry, because I kept calling them. What did I call? Nvidia. Nvidia. I just call them Nvidia, but it's Nvidia. Whatever.
Nvidia, yeah.
Those two companies have signed an agreement, so Microsoft does have to stick to those because they're signed agreements, signed licensing agreements. So those have to be stuck to. Sony has a current marketing deal which expires next year. But as of right now, Microsoft doesn't own COD. So if they don't sign whatever this licensing agreement is that Microsoft is offering prior to ABK going through, then CMA can't do shit and Microsoft can do whatever the hell they want, is how I'm reading the situation.
I am not sure about that. I think if the CMA say, okay, we'll approve the deal, but you have to release. Now, Microsoft, I don't know. I'm not a solicitor.
But
right?
You need a licensing agreement to be able to release a game on a platform.
And if Sony refused to sign, and Microsoft say, "Well, we offered," and they keep refusing, but you're
That's
approving
right.
the deal. I don't get me wrong. I would laugh my tits off if that was the end result. The CMA are like, "Yeah, we approve it," and Sony haven't signed, and Microsoft will be like, "Well, fuck you, too late."
But that's what I'm saying. The CMA keeps talking about how Microsoft's gone back on their word in the past. So that makes me think that regardless of what the CMA says or does, as long as they approve that deal, Microsoft can technically do whatever the hell they want. Technically. That's how it reads to me. Because think about it logically. If Microsoft were bound by what the CMA said or what they publicly offered or whatever, then why do the CMA keep bringing up the past about, well, but, you didn't keep your word back then? That makes it sound like the CMA are kind of powerless once they approve the deal. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like they're powerless. So I'll go back to what I said a couple of weeks ago. It sounds like if Sony doesn't sign that licensing agreement, I guess it would be an in principle licensing agreement because Microsoft doesn't own COD yet. So if Sony don't sign that licensing agreement prior to ABK closing and the CMA has approved it, then Microsoft can go yoink, or they can change the terms of the agreement, or because Jim Ryan or whoever is representing Sony has said that it's Microsoft that chose to redact the details of the licensing agreement. Did you see that? Yeah. There's a whole bunch of redacting there, and apparently it's Microsoft that requested that redacting. And Sony are framing it as, well, this licensing deal sucks, and Microsoft knows it, and that's why it's being redacted.
Yeah.
It's just...
I mean, and they met with the CMA a couple of days ago, earlier this week. It would hurt customers.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't.
I mean,
I still want, like, there has to be anyone who's watching. I swear to you, I legitimately want someone. I want to talk to someone because typing in Discord or on Twitter messages is not the same. I want to talk to someone, virtual face to face, who can give me a legitimate reason why this deal is actually bad. Again, regardless of your feelings of whether you want it to go through or not. Remember, I prefer it doesn't go through.
Yeah.
But the fact that, like, I'm a grown adult, I can separate what I want to calling it as I see it. In the end, I personally would prefer this deal doesn't go through. That's just me. Because I personally, and remember, I care about me. I don't care about any of you. I care about my Game Pass subscription and what goes into it. I care about my Xbox and what I play on it. Right? I don't care if you don't get COD because I don't care about COD. So this is me being selfish now. I get more from Capcom and Sega. So I want Capcom and Sega. I don't want ABK. So that's why I prefer ABK doesn't go through. I play Resident Evil. I play Devil May Cry. I play more stuff, especially from Capcom these days. Sega aren't what they once were, but at least with Sega, you get a chance of old stuff coming back. So I care more about them. So ABK gets nothing to me. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that, because you don't want to set a precedent of a regulator being dodgy, which is what the CMA are at the moment. That's not a precedent you want set. Like, I think people are struggling to remove their love of their favorite console
Plastic
brand from
box.
these arguments. On either side, whether it's Xbox or PlayStation, Nintendo, whatever, people are struggling to remove that from the arguments. Like, just pretend you were talking. I'm trying to think of a good analogy. Pretend you're talking about, take video games out of it. Pretend it was the same situation in, God, I don't know. What's another? I'm trying to think of another industry where you could have a similar situation where there's a strong market leader that's not as big as the last place company that's actually backed by a massive corp.
Dyson and Henry Hoover? I have no idea.
What about Apple and Samsung? Apple and Samsung in phones. Samsung is the market leader. They sell more phones than Apple do. And Samsung is a big company. But Apple is the biggest company. And they're not the market leader. So that would probably be the closest analog, I guess.
No, because it
closest
would still
comparison.
It would, because they're phone manufacturers. It would be considered a horizontal merger, I think, rather than a vertical.
If Apple were to buy who?
Samsung.
No, I'm not talking about Apple buying Samsung. I'm saying, let's say Apple tried to buy, I don't know, what could Apple buy that would give them a leg up against Samsung in selling phones? I don't know.
Sony. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because of the camera lenses. Yeah,
and their
so
entertainment
let's say
they can add in.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't expect that deal to get blocked because Samsung is still a big company. Samsung can still find another lens provider. Samsung can still partner up with another entertainment company. Yes, it would make Apple much stronger, but all it's doing is increasing Apple's competition up against Samsung, who I think is still beating them quite handily. So, to me, that's the closest thing I can think of to compare. Like, the thing people have to forget is if you're promoting competition and you're protecting consumers, nothing about this ABK deal hurts any of that. You are still increasing competition. Microsoft will now be able to compete better. And I see the argument. It's Microsoft's fault they suck. Yep, you're 1000% right. And that's why they want to buy ABK. Yeah. To help them suck less. Look, you're not playing some winning trump card by saying that. Like, that's the point. Microsoft probably understands that they've sucked for a while, so they're buying ABK.
Is the you can't call a $1 trillion company the underdog? I'm like, you can, because they're the underdog in this market. But look, regardless,
I just want someone to come on. I want someone on here who can give us a reasonable argument. I want to bring someone on the show who can legitimately provide me with a reason why this deal is legitimately bad for the industry. And not just bad for them personally, not just bad for them on a personal level. I'm talking about actually bad for the industry. Because so far, ABK staff are in support of it, which I would argue is the most important part.
Yeah.
Because are you all just conveniently ignoring how they were all being treated? Are we all just ignoring that right now? So for the better part of 6 months, we had this crusade against ABK because of how the staff culture at ABK. Yeah. Reset was banning talk about ABK. Podcasts, even we said we weren't going to cover ABK, I think, at one point.
Yeah.
There was this massive crusade against ABK because of how the staff were being treated. Now everyone's just forgotten that because it's affecting their favorite video game company. So the staff who we've seen have been mistreated for years. They want this deal to go through because they want to be under a better overlord. The shareholders, I'm sure as shit, want it to go through.
Nvidia want it to go through. Nintendo are happy for it to go through.
Nintendo and Nvidia want it to go through, and they're Microsoft's competition. Like, Game Pass subscribers definitely want it to go through. The only people I'm seeing here that don't want it to go through, no offense, are PlayStation fans. They're literally the only ones, and me. Because I want Capcom and Sega. Like, are we not seeing the issue there? Like, I just want someone, because again, I like debating and I like learning. If someone can explain to me why this deal is legitimately bad, that doesn't come from a console war, I love my PlayStation angle, then please, I want to learn. I want it explained to me. Because at the moment, no one thus far has been able to.
I feel like the only arguments you're going to get are the ones that Sony themselves use for closing on.
But that's what I mean. Like, let's pretend, okay? Let's pretend for a second that Microsoft are evil bastards. Let's just pretend they are for a second. And I'm sure they are a little bit. All companies are. So let's just pretend for a second that Microsoft are evil bastards. And as soon as the CMA approves, Microsoft's going to go, hey, Jimbo, right here, mate. COD's going away. You're not getting COD anymore. Eat shit. Right? They pull COD from PlayStation. Let's just say. They're evil as. What do you think the worst case result of that happening would be? And ignore those surveys, because I reckon those surveys are bullshit, personally. Those surveys where they said, well, it turns out that only 3% of PlayStation gamers would actually switch to COD. That's bullshit. A lot more than 3% would switch to Xbox or buy an Xbox if COD, like, let's not be silly. If COD was exclusive to Xbox, you would see Xbox improve their market share immeasurably. Okay?
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
But what would the worst case result of Microsoft being assholes be? Would Sony foreclose like Sega? No, they wouldn't. So what's the worst case result?
Well, I don't know, Nick, because wasn't one of the arguments or one of the facts that came out recently in some of the discussion was saying that Sony's AAA first party output is not sustainable without third party sales,
which is what we've been saying for the better part of 2 years.
Call of Duty's massive amounts of revenue that's generated. So effectively, partly, Call of Duty is funding the extravagance of Sony's first party AAA.
Yeah. Okay.
So
again, what's the worst case scenario of Microsoft being assholes? Sony goes third? Well, I'm asking genuinely. Sony goes third, correct? They can't make as many first-party get bangers because they can't afford it. They don't make as much money. Maybe the quality declines somewhat, which then affects console sales. More people switch to Xbox. Maybe the role reverses. Microsoft goes first. Sony goes third. So would that be so bad? And you might now... I'm trying to do a Brazil here, and I'm trying to think of more stuff. So, Microsoft's become assholes. They've pulled COD. They've pulled everything. Sony is now third because now Sony can't be extravagant with their AAA because COD's not funding them anymore. Let's keep going. Now Microsoft wants to buy EA. Let's go. Microsoft wants to buy EA now. Do you reckon that goes through?
No.
Exactly. It wouldn't go through. So who cares? Microsoft's really only going to get one shot at a big publisher like ABK or EA or Ubi or whatever. They're only going to get one crack at it. They're not going to get to do it again. They're not going to get to do it again.
As well, that Sony were talking about how they've got like $5 billion or something to spend on acquisitions and stuff
Sony.
Like this.
That's not PlayStation. Yeah. That's Sony that has $5 billion.
Sony. And people obviously were like, oh, PlayStation is definitely going to acquire Ubisoft.
Oh, they're going to buy Take-Two with that $5 billion. They're going to buy Take-Two.
Sony needs to be real careful here because Microsoft
are the market leader.
Yeah.
They are the market leader.
And I wonder what the arguments Microsoft would make.
this is the interesting part, right? So we had that gentleman who I'm not going to say mean things about. We had that gentleman who said that Sony's going to buy Take-Two. Lol. But again, let's live in another fantasy land. Let's live in a fantasy land where Sony tries to buy Take-Two. The CMA is going to be in quite a predicament then, aren't they?
Yeah.
So what happens? What did the CMA say then? If the CMA really want to block Microsoft, who's third, from buying ABK, Sony being the market leader, will they block that too? Because now it's the market leader buying GTA, which is just as big as COD, if not bigger.
Oh no. Whoa.
So the CMA either pisses off all the Sony fanboys that love the CMA right now, or they expose themselves as corrupt. They're the choices. So that I wish Sony would have a crack at Take-Two, because again, as someone who doesn't play any of Rockstar's games, I couldn't care less. If Sony wants to buy Take-Two, buy Take-Two. I'd be interested to see how that goes down in terms of the CMA. All the other regulators would want it blocked anyway. Like the normal regulators that actually do their job, they would block Take-Two. But I'd love to see how the CMA approaches Sony trying to buy Take-Two. Yeah. I would absolutely love to see it. Just because, again, if Sony wants to buy Take-Two, go for it. I don't play Rockstar's games. So Sony buying Take-Two doesn't affect me one iota. But for me, the interesting part would be seeing how the regulators react. I think we'd have a flip of what we have now. So right now we have pretty much all the regulators going either yes or yes, but... And then the CMA is the outlier going, but what about Sony? I think with Take-Two, it would probably be the flip. All the other regulators would be like, lol, as if Sony's going to buy Take-Two. Yeah, nah. And then the CMA is like, well, it might help Sony compete against a behemoth like Microsoft if they owned Take-Two. I could just totally see it happening.
Yeah, I don't know, but look, I mean, it has got particularly spicy this week, and look, we're in the end game. We've got a month and a half to go. 26th of April, right, is pretty much the deadline. The EU seem to be signaling, according to a story from Reuters, I think, that they're going to allow it with some remedies, right? So not divestiture. CMA is the last hurdle. It's going to be a roller coaster ride up until that point. And look, people saying, Lulu's lying about what she said. If that had been a lie, Sony would have come out and said it.
Oh, bloody oath. They would have already come out and denied it by now. Sony would have put
that to bed within the day.
Of course they would have. Of course they would have already denied it. Everyone's like, Lulu's lying. It's like, yes, the CCO of Activision is just going to blatantly lie on social media and reveal something that was spoken about behind closed doors, because that's not a massive risk to her job.
And that's the thing.
Like, come on, people. Like, this is what I mean about arguing with adults versus arguing with children. It's fine to have a laugh. Yeah, we're all having a laugh. Ha, 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 Lulu exposed them, whatever. But, she's lying. It's like, that's a big gamble to take for her to lie about something like that. That's a big, big gamble. Like, I don't think people understand. I'm still shocked she did it. Like, I would have assumed she can get in trouble for that. I would have assumed.
I don't know. Like, if you see your competitor, or at least the one blocker from everybody getting what they want, when I'm talking from Activision's perspective here, out there making these weird, bizarre, but Microsoft might make the last level in the Call of Duty release on PlayStation be really buggy, like on purpose.
Isn't that interesting? You know how they say whoever smelt it dealt it? Like, isn't it funny that Sony brought that up? Do you find that interesting?
I find it interesting that they are attempting to claim that Microsoft would do X, Y, or Z with Call of Duty, and it would foreclose them when they've been enjoying nearly 10 years of giving Microsoft a lesser version of Call of Duty in some respects.
Why would Sony... Ask yourself why Sony would bring up the potential of Microsoft intentionally sabotaging the PlayStation version of Call of Duty. Why would they do? Is that a practice that happens? Is it? Is that something that happens? I didn't think that happened.
It's bizarre. It doesn't happen, mate. It doesn't happen. No
very
game
curious,
developer
isn't
is
it?
going to deliberately sabotage their game for one platform over another. Quirks happen, bugs happen. And that, I think, is the big worry for Microsoft under this scrutiny, right? Because we have seen it where bugs will just affect one platform and not the other on both sides. And if it happens to a COD game, oh, you did that on purpose, uproar. You know? I don't know. There are a couple of super chats. We had one from, I want to say,
one from
RRD.
Yeah. We also had one from Creaky Legs that we'll need Jesse to find on YouTube. Creaky Legs had one.
I cannot. They are so old, they're gone from my thing that I used to show them. There's been a lot of talking today.
But
I get the last 500. So I use an app called Twidget, which gets the last 500 things and then has like a local source, and that's how I pop it into OBS.
Oh no, but on YouTube itself, it should tell you all the super chats.
Yeah, I can't.
There's a back end thing. What?
I don't have it set up to show from that though. I use an actual app to show it on screen.
Oh, just tell us what it is out loud if you can find it.
That's what you want
in YouTube Studio.
Sure. Creaky Leg says.
Oh yeah, I'm not talking about. Yeah, just paste it into the private chat. I just wanted to read it out. I don't care if you don't show it. That's fine.
I'm going to read it out because it's right here. Creaky Leg says, "Hey boys, sorry I've been MIA lately. Been working nonstop the past 2 weeks in preparation to move soonish. I promise I'll be active soon. In the meantime, which Friends character would Jim Ryan be?"
It all depends on the perspective you want to take. If the perspective is Jim Ryan is annoying, then he's Phoebe.
Nah, he would be Bruce Willis's cameo on Friends.
Oh, I was thinking about the 6 main characters.
Nah. Let's give him a random side character. He doesn't deserve one of the main 6.
Bruce Willis's character? Why?
Because in front of everybody, he's like really hardcore and and then he turns into a whiny little bitch when he's with Rachel.
Just a love machine.
The chat saying he's Mr. Heckles.
Oh, Mr. Heckles. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Mr. Heckles is a good one. I like that. That's good.
Do you know what just popped into my head? And let's see if Nick's Friends knowledge is up to knowledge.
Yeah.
What episode is that? And what does he do?
Is that Joey?
It is. Man, you're good.
Yeah. It's Joey doing that, isn't it? But I'm trying to remember what he was doing.
The dance when he gets put in charge of the dance class to teach him how to do it.
Yes. And then he just runs. Then he just runs. Yes. I knew it was a Joey scene. I just couldn't remember which one.
Classic.
Yes. Okay. RRD with a Canadian, I want to say $2 super chat. It's the No Nicks Club. They can only have one. You know about the Redfall thing? And we compared it to the
no
Stone
homers.
Cutters?
We're allowed one.
Yes. It's the No Nicks Club. Yeah, so there must already be a Nick at the Redfall event. Jason, our friend Jason, with an $8 super chat, talking about not talking about ABK whilst talking about ABK. Let's go.
Yeah, man.
Yes,
it happened. No, the likes came through. 158 likes, 300 odd people watching. We're back down to just over 50%, but we've no longer got that threat of likes going down.
So was there anything else that happened? There was more stuff that came out with the ABK stuff, wasn't there? I feel like there was more. Or have we basically covered it?
We basically covered it. There were bits and pieces. The one last thing that was interesting was Bloomberg had an article where Sony actually told the UK to force Microsoft's Call of Duty sale,
to sell Call of Duty,
or block the deal entirely. Those were the two ultimatums given to the CMA.
Yeah, and again, everyone, I've seen people on Twitter absolutely ripping on Sony and Jim Ryan. I don't think that's right. That's what Sony should be doing. They're trying to protect their bottom line. They're trying to protect their investment. They're trying to protect their interests. You can't blame a thing for being what it is. Like, you can't. Sony's not going to just lie down and take it. Like, All this does, though, if you do want to have your Twitter arguments with fanboys, at least this shoots down the bagger argument. Because remember how I kept telling you all it's a myth that people buy PlayStations for the exclusives?
Yeah.
Well, ABK proves it. It was always a myth. It always was. Always. It's a myth. The exclusives are just marketing window dressing. Look at these nice, pretty graphics exclusives we've got. That's not where their money is made. It never was. Because those games cost so much money to make and market. That's not where Sony's bread and butter is. That's just advertising. It's a form of marketing that Microsoft clearly chooses not to partake in. But that's just a form of marketing. The exclusives were never why people buy PlayStations. So that's the argument you can have with fanboys. But bagging Jim Ryan and Sony for doing what they're supposed to be doing. No, bag the CMA, because it's the CMA's job to see through all the bullshit and get to the facts of the case. That's their job. And right now, it doesn't appear, at least at the moment, on face value, it doesn't appear like they are doing that as yet. Yeah. They're hearing Sony whinging and yapping in their ear, and they're sort of listening for some dumb reason. Because really, there's nothing to listen to. Like, none of it, as I've said to you all, the absolute hell freezes over worst case scenario in all of this is literally a position swap. Microsoft becomes the market leader, Sony's in third place. That's it. That's it. That's the worst case scenario. Like, you can make up all kinds of fanciful scenarios in your head. That is the only one. There's no world where Sony goes the way of Sega and leaves the console market. It would never happen. Sony is too entrenched. PlayStation is too entrenched. Their mind share and their market share is too big. It could like Sega wasn't ever the market leader. So it's not like Sega was this super strong company and then they got somehow irrevocably muscled out. It's not the same thing. So you're not going to have Sony being pushed out of the industry if that's what your fear is. If that's your fear, then fear not. It will never happen.
Yeah.
If your fear is that Sony won't be the market leader anymore, well, boo-hoo. Too bad, so sad. Like, who gives a shit?
I mean,
you can still go and buy a PlayStation.
You can go and read some of the crazy stuff that Sony put in their thing, but like they said, Microsoft could raise the Call of Duty just on PlayStation. Like, can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Sony's right. They could. Microsoft could do all sorts of evil shit. Sony is 100% correct. Microsoft could do all the things they're saying. And that's why I kept saying the worst case scenario. So if Microsoft made Call of Duty exclusive, if Microsoft kept it multi-plat but raised the price, if Microsoft sabotaged the PlayStation version, they could do all these things, and the worst case scenario would still be exactly what I said.
What blows my mind?
PlayStation in third place. That's it.
What blows my mind, mate, is Sony are out there saying, they could do all these things with the IP that would make it worse on PlayStation, and Microsoft can literally turn around and go, "Hi, here's Minecraft, one of the biggest video games in the world that we own,
1080p on Series X,
and you guys signed
4K
on
PS5.
It's actually better on PS5 in terms of resolution.
Yep.
What's the problem, guys? You're saying Sony is saying out there, none of these behavioral remedies are possible. They could do all these different things. They could do all those different things right now with a globally appealing IP, and they aren't.
Minecraft,
and they haven't.
Almost just as big as COD, and they haven't done it with Minecraft. And that's fine. All those are, I'm trying to dig into what the worst case scenario is, because when you get to the crux of it and you scrape away all the bullshit and you get to the crux of the issue, you have to understand where people are coming from when they argue things. So most of the people that I've seen arguing against this deal are coming from a place of, I want my brand to be number one. And that's just a shit argument, to be frank. It really is. It's just a shit argument. Because in a world where Microsoft acquires ABK and becomes number one, they wouldn't be able to acquire anything big again. It would get blocked.
Do you want a really good quote from Sony's letter to the CMA?
Okay.
This is a fun one, right? And then we'll try and wrap this up, right? As the CMA is aware, SIE made known its concerns about the transaction to Microsoft almost a year ago. In the intervening period, Microsoft has not shown any real commitment to reaching a negotiated outcome. They have dragged their feet, engaged only when they sensed the regulatory outlook was darkening, and favored negotiating in the media over engaging with SIE. Microsoft's most recent proposal, which SIE received redacted, is telling. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, we've had the guys say that you guys aren't even talking to him.
And mind you, both Microsoft and Activision have been like, they're not returning our calls.
Yeah.
So both are telling the truth. Because if Sony are ignoring the phone when they see Microsoft's name come up, and they're ignoring the emails, and they've blocked Microsoft email addresses, Sony's right. Microsoft hasn't tried to reach out. They've just gone like this. Microsoft hasn't tried to reach out at all. We haven't heard from Microsoft or Activision. And then Activision and Microsoft are also telling the truth because they've rang them and emailed them and they're not returning the calls. So both sides are telling the truth. But that, I don't know. This is all just, man.
All right. Okay. Last comment on ABK. Temperature read. Nick. What hill are you dying on? Is this deal going to close in Microsoft's favor, or are Sony going to be successful in their campaign?
It looks like it. I don't know. It looks like it.
No, I'm saying pick a side. What do you think is going to happen?
Probably.
You think it's going to
probably go through? I think so. I'd like to think that common sense and facts and logic will win out in the end. I want to hope that common sense and facts and logic win out in the end. Again, regardless of your opinion on whether you believe it should happen or not, that's a different argument altogether. That's a completely separate argument. If you believe it should, or if you think it's good for the industry, bad for the industry, just base it on pure facts, base it on pure what we know. There's actually no legitimate reason for the deal to get blocked. So for that reason, you can't really say anything other than, yeah, it'll probably go through. Simply because there's no actual reason to block it. No real one.
I think that Sony are going to be successful in the block. And I think the EU will pass it with the behavioural remedies. I think, who gives a shit what the FTC do? But I think the CMA are going to say no. They're going to say, we'll pass this if you sell Call of Duty. And this is what makes me laugh. They could sell Call of Duty, okay. And then Microsoft could go, hi, new company that owns Call of Duty. Here's crazy amount of money to sign an exclusivity deal with you for 10 years.
Yep. Yeah, that's the stupid part about all of this. Microsoft, this is what's weird about it. If Microsoft was to like walk away and say, you know what, Bobby, we tried. Sony are being dickheads. The CMA are being even bigger dickheads. We give up. Here's your $3 billion. Now, about the next COD rights, they could turn around, spend a fraction of the money, and actually do a deal that hurts Sony more than what's being offered now. That's what's so stupid about it. Microsoft could now spend less money and do more damage to Sony.
Because the regulatory body would not get involved in that. They would not get involved. That's a contractual commitment.
They can't do anything about it. If Bobby and Satya decide to get spiteful and petty, right?
And we know Bobby is spiteful.
From 3 weeks ago on out, go back and watch the Seamus Blackley episode. We know what Bobby thinks and how he talks behind closed doors. And we know that Bobby can be a very spiteful and petty person. So if Bobby and Satya decide to get petty and go, okay, deal didn't go through. Well, here you go, Microsoft. Give us $5 billion and COD's exclusive for the next 3 or 4 years on Xbox. It's not on PlayStation.
Can you imagine?
Then what's the CMA going to do? Because you know how much damage gets done in that 3 or 4 years? I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but just like the CMA is talking possible scenarios, we're also talking possible scenarios. And we know for a fact that Bobby Kotick can be a very petty and bitter man. So that's what's funny about all this. There could be a scenario where Microsoft goes, okay, we've lost $3 billion, but we were willing to spend 70. So we're going to go buy Capcom, all exclusive. We're going to go buy Sega, all exclusive. We're going to get the COD marketing rights back, and we're going to lock COD down for 3 years and put it on Game Pass. And that won't cost them 70 bill. It'll cost them a lot less than 70 bill, and it'll actually do more damage to Sony.
I don't see Sony successfully renegotiating the existing ABK deal after this if it fails. And for the record, while I say I think the CMA are going to try and block it, that's just my gut feel. Like I can smell it. It smells bad. I'll be very surprised if it goes through just behavioural remedies. I think they'll say, yeah, but you have to sell the IP, or yeah, but you have to do X, Y, and Z. But if it doesn't, fine. I want it to go through because I think it would be good for Xbox in general, and that's the place I play. Do I want more free games for me? Yeah, sure. I'll play through a COD campaign every year without spending any money on it. Sign me up. But I don't know. It's a weird one. I mean, the last line we were talking about how they said it was commercial. Like this is the price. This is the phrasing they use. They talked about Microsoft's proposal in multi-game subscription services is even more troubling. Microsoft proposes to license redacted if SIE agrees to pay redacted. Under the terms of that proposal, that amount redacted.
And I think Microsoft wanted all that redacted.
This is the interesting phrase. This would commercially destroy any of SIE's multi-game subscription business model. It would destroy their PlayStation Plus model completely. That's what they're saying. They're saying they are so on tenterhooks that in order to license Call of Duty for their game, like their Game Pass, in order for Sony to do that, it would destroy their ability to have that model at all. A yearly subscription to PlayStation Plus Extra, SIE's mid-tier MGS service, is priced at around $100, and the buy-to-play retail price of Call of Duty today is around $70. Under Microsoft's proposed terms, SIE would therefore be required to pay redacted. I presume this is loads of zeros. Redacted. As the chart below shows, this would leave SIE with only redacted full $100 annual subscriptions. Oof. I mean, what is that saying? You can't afford to run your business if you wanted to license Call of Duty on the cloud, which is why you don't. Well, Microsoft could. And that would be the go-to killer move. Yeah, okay, we're going to license this under cloud. Well, you can't do it. Sorry. We're going to pay for this to be on Game Pass. That could be their killer move if this all flops. But, man, it would be so fucking funny.
Big boy Barry, Microsoft can already see that through Bethesda and Minecraft. Like... You're saying dev kits. Microsoft has Sony dev kits. They own Bethesda and Mojang, remember? Mojang would have had PlayStation dev kits for years. So would Bethesda. In fact, Bethesda sent a lot of theirs, almost all of theirs back a little while ago. Like, they have Sony's dev kits already. They have had them for a long time. Probably as long as Sony, almost as long as Sony's had them because of Minecraft. They would have been spinning up Minecraft versions of PlayStation versions of Minecraft ages ago. Yeah. So they already have Sony's dev kits.
Oh, it's funny.
And vice versa, because MLB is on Xbox. So Sony's
looking forward to that last level being some bugs in there.
Yeah, can we pull up the Digital Foundry video of MLB comparisons between PlayStation and Xbox?
Oddly enough, the Xbox always had worse performance.
Did it really? The Xbox version of MLB performed worse, did it? Maybe
I believe the very first one had some weird quirks in it.
Oh, really? I'm sure they were just, them struggling with the dev kit, and it wasn't intentionally sabotaging the Xbox version, because that doesn't happen, does it? Does it? Huh.
Awkward.
Okay.
Awkward. Anyway, that's ABK, folks. All right. We've danced your dance. We've sung to your tune. You hit the like button enough. We appreciate you. Speaking about appreciating people, I have one last little secret piece of news to share. Xbox Era is soon going to be opening and launching a digital store.
Really?
Little tidbit, a digital store. Whoa,
where was this mentioned? How come I don't know about this?
You do know about this, mate. It was in the administration channel quite significantly, and we spoke about it before the show. Yeah. We're opening a digital store right now. I'm not going to wax too lyrical about this because we'll do a slightly bigger. But hey, this is for our podcast. Let me just say this: you'll be able to get Game Pass and Xbox gift cards and other things from the Xbox Era digital store.
It's not NFTs.
It's not NFTs. This is stuff that you'll use.
It's a store. It's an actual store.
It's the stuff you'll use in your normal Xbox gaming life. Gift cards, Game Pass subscriptions, as well as other things. And I'll leave that vague. But let me just underline, I'll give you a little hint, and we'll talk about it a little bit more when we're a bit closer to launching it. It will be this year. It should be in Q2. You will want to be an Xbox Era patron. Of significance. I'll say it that way. You are going to want to be an Xbox Era patron.
Patrons will get a little bit extra.
Oh, patrons are going to be like, okay, well, this is a no-brainer. So if you like what we do, we're about to go out there and try and offer you guys, our community, and we love you guys because you enable us to do all this cool stuff. We're going to go out there and get some cool stuff for you in return. That's just going to be more value to you to be a member of this community. So it's just a little tip.
I reckon the store will let patrons basically pay off their patron membership.
Shh, too much info.
Is that too much?
Quiet. Shh.
Yeah.
Anyway, patrons are wonderful. We'll talk more about the patrons later on. But Nick, before we do any of those fun things.
Oh my God, yeah. I forgot about
Nicholas.
that. I got so involved in that ABK talk, I completely forgot about the rumor mill.
Well then, my man, prep your DMs because we haven't hit this button
I should get my DM. I gotta get my DMs.
You go do that because Jesse's gonna hit the rumor mill button.
Hold on.
Rumor mill. We've never heard that before. It's the rumor mill. Things change, we can't be sure. It's the rumor mill. You know they may not come true. The Xbox Era podcast is not responsible for websites presenting these rumors as facts.
Okay. It's been a while since a rumor mill, hasn't it?
It's been a while, bro.
I haven't been getting much stuff. I've actually been like DMing people that normally give me stuff saying, hey, I haven't heard from you in a while. Okay, so what have we got? Now, I'm looking to the right because I've got one note open here, so I'm reading the right things. Who doesn't like, or who likes Soul Calibur? We all like Soul Calibur. I love the original Soul Calibur.
I had a lot of fun with Soul Calibur 2 on the PlayStation. Was it the 2 or the 1? I can't remember.
I got Soul Calibur 2 on Xbox because it had Spawn. I liked Spawn.
It might have been. No, I'm tell you what, I'm thinking all the way back to Soul Blade on the original PlayStation.
Yes, on the original PlayStation. Soul Calibur on Dreamcast is like the GOAT, though. Like, that game holds up today, for God's sake.
I'm not against Soul Calibur.
We all love remasters, right? Everyone loves a good remaster.
Apparently, according to the market.
Yeah. So that's what I've heard. I've heard that Namco might be looking at what my source wasn't clear on was whether we're just getting the original Soul Calibur remastered, or if they're doing a remaster collection of games. And again, even that, because if you're remastering 1, 2, 3, how far do you go?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because we're up to Soul Calibur 6 now, I want to say. But 5 was released on Xbox One, wasn't it?
Yes.
So you'd think a remaster collection would be 1 through 4. You would think. I've got to stop speculating because then people are going to say that that's what I said. I've got to stop speculating. So
yeah, you've already ruined it on this one.
Anyway, what my
remaster
source
on
is
a
not
Soul
sure
Calibur
on,
type.
what my source is not sure on was whether it's just the original Soul Calibur, or whether it's a collection of like Soul Calibur remasters of older games in the series. Again, I'm not like, yeah. Yes. And I believe that might look at a Game Pass deal for that too. Again, that's just the rumor. Remember, people, it's the rumor mill, everyone. It's rumors. Because I get these DMs from people that I trust, and yeah. So, yeah, that's the rumor mill. There was one other thing, but I got told I can't say it yet because there may have been something that has potentially blocked a deal.
Oh.
So I was not going to say the second part. But it's completely unrelated to Namco and Soul Calibur. But yes, so I believe that Namco might be looking into, I don't think it's in development right now. I think they might be looking at and this is the problem with the DMs sometimes don't go into that kind of detail. They didn't say they're in development right now, but they didn't say they're not. So for me, it's just, I assume it doesn't exist right now. Yeah, it's just what I've been told. The rumor is that it's either going to be the original or a collection. But what a collection would entail, I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder.
I probably shouldn't speculate because then everyone's going to say, you said.
When was the last Soul Calibur?
Soul Calibur 6.
When was that? Like, what gen? Was that 360 gen? Or Xbox
Oh, that's
One
this gen, isn't it?
Really?
It was last gen.
Soul Calibur,
One,
yeah, Soul Calibur 6 is 2018. It's like 2 years before. So
Xbox One, PS4. That's 5 years ago, man. That's a long time. That was the one with the character creator, right? Where you could really
Soul
go
Calibur
down.
5 was 2012.
Wow.
So that means that the 360 gen got 2 Soul Caliburs because they got Soul Calibur 4 as well. Oh, so a potential remaster collection could go all the way up to 5. Given that was still on 360 hardware.
Fishbowl Nick confirms up to Soul Calibur 5 being remastered on Xbox. WCCF Tech.
Whatever, man. Wow, I didn't realize that the 360 generation got 2 Soul Caliburs. 2.
It's unusual.
Wow. That's full on. Because Soul Calibur 3 was PlayStation 2. Exclusive to PlayStation 2 as well. Soul Calibur 2 was on... Wait. Oh, yeah, because Soul Calibur 2 got a HD remaster on 360 and PS3. But that was also PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox. So that's weird. Soul Calibur 2 was on Xbox and GameCube, but Soul Calibur 3 was exclusive to PlayStation 2. How weird is that? Do you reckon Sony money had it?
Yep.
What do you reckon?
Yeah, mate.
Interesting.
But that's a lovely little rumor you had there. Thank you. That's we'll see what happens on that front.
Yeah.
We're now at the point in the show where we play a little game. We play a little game of Name a Game. If you're new to this podcast and you've never seen this before, Nick and I face off on behalf of a patron every week. So if you're an Xbox Era patron, this is your chance to win a game when we act as your champions. And we face off to some devilishly difficult questions where Jesse has mixed the words up for games. So instead of give me one, Metal Gear Solid, he might say alloy shifting, I don't know, heavy.
Yeah.
Something like that. And we'd have to try and think like, oh, what could that be? So we're going to play that now. It's Name a Game. All right. Here we go.
And we're
Jesse.
back.
So,
we're
yeah.
on desktop audio.
So look,
Name a Game.
Name a Game.
I don't have clever stories today. I don't have anything. So all I'm going to say is I'm going to you know that Name a Game's brought to you by Manscaped. Manscaped makes a good trimmer. The other thing you can get from Manscaped is undies. Look,
Well,
undies. You can get Manscaped undies. That's all I'm showing. That's it. You can get Manscaped undies as well, like those ones. They're quite nice. They're very
quite comfortable. I thought you were going to
They
say
are.
something like, why not shave your balls for Mother's Day? But then it could get weird.
Oh my god, I wouldn't say that. What are you talking about?
I wouldn't say that.
Shave
I'll
your-
just show my pants.
Shave your balls for your mother?
for Mother's
Jesus.
Day. Yeah, you know.
No. So yeah, so as well as when you use our code for 20% off when you're buying your lawnmower, also buy some undies as
'Cause
well.
they're comfy.
These are pretty good. I don't mind them. Hear that snap? I don't know if you can even hear that snap. But yeah, you get some undies too. 20% off. Xbox Zero is the code.
Go use it.
See,
Um,
I modeled. I was even modeling for Manscaped.
Beautiful.
You see that?
They should hire you.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we need to load up our buzzers. And
Oh, yeah,
let's-
buzzers.
Yep, you're both logged in.
Let's play.
Okay.
Better be logged in.
Buzzers,
All right.
buzzers.
So this week, the topic are, in honor of Starfield, Bethesda developed or Bethesda published games. Because they have published a
Ooh,
lot that they did not
shit.
develop.
Okay.
It's not hard. I didn't make it too hard. And I've got one
Now,
antonym instead of similes.
Okay. And
I am
before you
playing
get-
for.
Yeah.
I am playing for good old Collingwood forever. We know how to play the game.
Cool.
That's the
I'm
start
playing
of our
for Hard Vlad.
Hard Vlad Zero. Friend of
That's
the
what I'm playing for. Friends of the show.
Yep.
Let's go. Let's do it. Hit us
Okay.
up, Jesse. What we got?
Number 1 is Swindler Combatant. Swindler Combatant.
I'm not going to get any of these.
Swindler
Combatant. This must be an old one, isn't it? This is old, isn't it?
Probably.
Okay, so so it's an old game. That's probably why I can't think of it. But I bet you this one was published.
Swindler.
2009.
Combatant.
2009?
See, I told you it was old.
It's not that old.
It's like 14 years. Swindler, combatant. Hold on. I know the franchise, but and if I say the first one, I'm going to give John the clue, and then he'll guess it because he probably knows this.
The company
franchise
that
better
made
than I do.
the developer that made this is still making games, including games that are on Game Pass.
This was published by Bethesda. This wasn't made by Bethesda. I bet you this was published by Bethesda,
How much you want to bet?
wasn't it? Oh, you're saying it was made by
Am
Bethesda?
I? I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying how much do you
Ah.
want to bet?
Swindler, combatant. Swindler. Yeah, I bet you this was a published one.
This was published
Should have been a published.
by Bethesda.
Told you.
Doesn't
I
mean it
told ya.
wasn't developed. I didn't say it wasn't developed.
Oh, okay.
This was not
Well, then
developed by
technically
Bethesda.
they're all published.
I know that was a joke. God damn it. This was not developed by Bethesda. This was developed by
2009.
Rebellion, makers of Sniper Elite and Zombie Army.
Oh.
Nika Mechanico.
Oh. Is it that fucking Rogue Warrior?
Correct. +1 for Nick. Alright, me get the second one. Good to go. If people saw how much shit I had to do to make it look kind of ugly still, they'd be surprised. All right. The second one. Yeah, Nick probably read the chat. 4 people said it before you, Nick. So now you believe John reads the chat every time, so I believe he read the chat. The next one is...
That's why I've lost like so many of these games.
Throwing people off the scent. We know it. The next one is...
Yeah.
The Malevolent Inside.
To cover myself.
The Malevolent Inside. Sticka Mechanico.
The Evil Within.
Correct. You're also really quiet.
Oh, I am. Is that better?
What a bold strategy, Cotton. Let John build an insurmountable lead to cover the fact that I read the chat and intentionally lose.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm...
You're Australian. I didn't say you were smart.
Yeah. What a strategy.
All right. The next one is one word as we are tied at 1. This word is periphery. 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 Periphery.
This one was also published and not developed by Bethesda.
Maybe.
Oh, wait. See, I don't want to say it because I'll give it away.
Say this every time. Just think.
Is the guy? Tell me something, Jesse. Tell me something. Is the guy on the cover of this game going like this?
No.
Okay, so it's not the game I thought it was.
It is not the Outer Worlds, Ray Oid.
Oh, I was about to say, I wasn't thinking Outer Worlds.
I know. It's also Obsidian, not Bethesda.
True story.
Not even Outer Wilds would work. That was Anthem.
Periphery.
Ooh, one of the designers on this game was Edward Bongo Boy Stern.
I don't know what that means.
Released in 2011.
Periphery.
Developer Splash Damage.
On the edge.
You're on the edge. Oh!
Nick just won.
We both gave each other the clue.
I think I gave you.
You're
incorrect.
On the edge. You're on the brink.
Wrong.
Oh, what?
No,
Isn't that right?
No, that's correct.
Oh my god!
I had a LAN party.
We both go on the edge. On the edge.
I had a LAN party for Brink. I had a LAN party for Brink.
That sounds like a mistake.
I've never played Brink. I love that we both went periphery on the edge.
Developed
bang, and we both buzzed at the same time.
There. The next one is for the potential win. John, can you come through? It is one word. Dank. D-A-N-K. Dank.
Oh, dank. I thought you said gank as in G.
Dank. D-A-N-K. Sicka Mechanico.
I think this had a female lead and it was like a shootery thing. And was it wet?
Correct.
Black hair.
It was wet.
Is dank another word for wet?
Yeah, that's
dank,
what it means.
damp, wet. Yeah.
I didn't even. I know wet. I'm aware of the game wet, but I would not have thought.
Game, if memory serves.
Yes, I would not have thought of dank as another word for wet. But anyway.
That is what dank means.
Yeah. Is it?
Yes.
Is it though?
Absolutely.
Is it though?
Yes. Another one that's only one word because Bethesda likes their one-word games. It is.
They really do, don't they?
It is game. The word
we're
is.
not refreshed. Oh.
Yeah, we are. It is the word.
What?
Game. G-A-M-E.
Game.
Yep.
What?
Game.
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 Yep.
Watch both of us not get this.
Oh my god. Game.
Game.
Like a game as in a game you play.
The word is game. That is all I will say.
Whoa.
Or is it game you hunt? If it's game you hunt.
Sicka Mechanico.
Is it the OG? Aliens came and kidnapped the Indian guy, Prey?
They didn't publish Prey, but they did publish Prey.
I'm out then. It's
No.
up to you, Nicholas.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
It's
You said
prey.
the word prey. It's prey. Yes.
It's prey.
I don't know why
Even
you
though
had to,
you
I
meant
don't know
the
why you felt
wrong
the need to
prey.
specify. You didn't need
Oh,
to
I should've
specify.
just said
Even though
prey.
really he should get that wrong. 'cause he
Really?
said
I'm
the
going
wrong
to cut
prey.
that one out. He doesn't get it right, but it's done.
Ooh.
So Nick Mechanico,
So we
he
play
would have
again.
won if I gave him that, Nick. You get to keep going.
Ooh.
That question is just,
Why would he have won? Is he on
Flip.
2?
you're both on 2. He just got wet.
Are we? I thought he was on 1.
No, he got the Evil Within and wet. You got Brink and Rogue Warrior. You're never paying attention, bastard. Jesus
am an
Christ.
idiot. I thought they published the old trade, but I was wrong. That was
No,
before.
2K. 2K
Yeah, it was
published
2K.
the old
2K
trade.
and Aspire when they did more with it, I
Man.
think.
Should have shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I know. Just
Sorry,
say
Holmes.
just say the
Should've.
name of the game. Don't try and sound all clever because you're not.
You
Yeah.
got the name right and got the game wrong.
Yeah.
Which
Now
is very
Hardblade's
bad.
there, like
Right.
mother. I had a really bad.
He had a
ID
game and I
Xbox
ruined
game.
it with my own.
I've got some
Need to
good games in
explain
the
all
list
part
now.
of my strategy to lose on purpose.
Yeah, you're Australian. You do everything's backwards. All right, the next one is, and I'm going for The Senior Chronicles, Shanks. The Senior Chronicles, Shanks. Sick Mechanico.
I think this is an Elder Scrolls, and
Gotta
I
say-
think it's Daggerfall.
Why the fuck would that be Daggerfall?
Oh, I don't know.
Shanks Descending might be Daggerfall. No, you were wrong. Nick, do you have a guess? You would have to have the word fall.
What's the
in there.
last word?
Shanks.
What's the last word?
Shanks. Shanks.
As in, like a shank?
I don't give. I'm not going to give any clues. Just the word Shanks.
See, I don't know enough about the Elder Scrolls.
I'm going to put the timer at 10. Timer's going.
I don't know enough
5.
about the Elder Scrolls. I don't play those games.
We got to hear the sound effects.
I could get it. I could get it.
What is
I
it?
just figured out what it is.
Yeah, you dumb bastard.
What is
say
it?
it? You're not going to get a point for it, but say it. You fool.
You give up officially, Nick?
Yeah, he ran out of time.
Yeah, what is it?
Okay.
I ran out of time.
It's going to be the mobile game. Blades. It was.
Yes,
That's
the
why I
Elder
went
Scrolls
Dagger.
Infinity
Blades.
Blade.
The Elder
Infinity
Scrolls.
Blade.
The
No.
Elder Scrolls Blades.
Blades.
The
Yeah.
mobile game.
Is that still
I
running?
didn't even know that was a
I
thing.
don't know if that's still running. But yeah,
God.
it's a, yep.
Yeah.
I didn't
Wow,
even know
that was
Right.
obscure. Daggerfall was a good guess, man.
No, because there was no fall. Why would I
but,
just have
like, You
dagger?
can see why I went there. Shank,
Nope,
dagger,
not at all.
Shanks, dagger falls into you. Sure. And dagger falls one word. You couldn't separate it. 'cause
I
it's
do
one word made
hyphenated
up.
words for one word all the time. Don't make shit up. Get gut. You get shanked.
Come on.
All right, next
Okay,
one
this
is.
the longest.
Hopefully, Nick doesn't
tiebreaker
start
ever.
talking again as I go to say it, like he's done like 4 times now. The next one is Disaster Enduring.
Disaster enduring.
I don't know enough about Bethesda's games.
Disaster enduring.
Is this a new game?
No hints.
It's a new game, isn't it?
Man.
Oh man, it is. It's a
Nicka Mechanico.
When I say
did,
new,
I didn't say it wasn't. I just said I'm not giving a hint.
it's Doom Eternal, is it not?
Correct.
Well played.
You act like
I'm
I have to
thinking
give
when
you
I
a
heard
hint.
it, I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is a new game. Look, and Doom Eternal is probably Bethesda's newest game, one of.
No, not even. They released Ghostwire Tokyo
What?
and Deathloop. So it's like 3
Yeah,
or
one of,
or
I
more.
said, one of. Their
One of would be
newest.
1 or 2. One's going 3 back for 1 of.
Well played, Nick.
I
I'm
got
going
more.
to. Oh, okay. won't
I always
close
have
my-
more.
I won't close my buzzer.
I've
You're
got
right.
4 more.
Okay, go on then.
A little crazy today.
Really, that many?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was having fun. This one I thought about doing, but I didn't. But I probably should have because it is 1 word, hyphenated. How did I forget Hi-Fi Rush, Dave? I just didn't. Oh yeah. You're right. We did forget Hi-Fi Rush. It's not even 3rd newest. Hi-Fi Rush. Friggin' Ghostwire Tokyo
So
Deathloop.
4th.
Yeah, get fucked. All right, next one is Upper Atmosphere Reticulum. One word. A Bethesda published major IP. Upper atmosphere.
I was going to say the
reticulum.
Outer Worlds, but they didn't publish the Outer Worlds.
No.
But
this is one word.
Oh.
Upper atmosphere.
So what is it?
Reticulum. All hyphenated. One word. It is not
What's
Starfield.
reticulum?
Is it a game that was in the
What's
360
Reticulum?
gen?
In the what gen?
360 gen.
360.
I think it might be PC only.
Interesting.
Well, then I've got no chance. I don't play PC.
Let me see. What did it come out on? It only
The
came-
Upper Atmosphere.
It only came out on DOS in 1996.
Fucking hell.
Well.
Yes.
Oh, no, wait. Hold on. If it's that long ago, that's when I did used to play on PC.
Nicka Mechanico.
Is it Space Quest?
No. That would be two
Damn
words.
it.
But you're
Yes, you're right. You said it's one word. Shit.
one word. The designer of this game, Todd Howard. It was a first-person shooter.
Oh, really?
Developed by Bethesda with Flashpoint Productions.
I'm going to Google this because I'm out anyway.
Man.
The chat's mad at you for not getting it.
They did a
Who?
bunch of.
Who?
They did a bunch of. Because I had a 486. That was
Oh my
first
god, I've never
PC.
even heard of this
And
game.
it's gonna be. They did a bunch of Terminator games, but I can't. So
It is
I
called-
would have guessed
What were you going to guess?
Terminator 1 or
No.
Skynet or something silly.
The Skynet. The word was Skynet.
Was
That
it really?
Yeah.
And that's what you came up with. Upper atmosphere reticulum.
Yeah, look up what reticulum.
Yeah.
Reticulum means.
That's why I
neck.
was like, what's reticulum?
A reticulum is
Yeah, I'm
an-
out with reticulum. Man, that is.
Elder
is
Scrolls
old school, man.
Daggerfall was the same year. It was 2 months before Skynet.
Reticulum
that,
is
19
a
Elder
fine
Scrolls 2
network
Daggerfall.
or net-like structure.
Man,
Look, I can't make them all really easy. Someone got
That
to
was-
be
What's
hard.
this game? Skynet. I've never heard of it. Is it a
It's a-
Terminator game?
It's a Terminator first-person shooter. It was originally going to be an expansion for another one. Yeah,
Wow.
and it
How
got too
have I
big to be an
never heard of
expansion.
this before?
when are we going to get another Terminator game from Todd Howard? That's what I want to know.
And 96, that's when I was playing on... I used to play on PC back then.
Chat got it. They knew. That was a good goddamn friggin' thing I put in there. You're all jerks for making...
Oh, but apparently I read the chat, so shouldn't I have got it?
No, you're
You've
very
already won.
smartly not giving in. See, no matter which
Yeah,
way
you
you
already
go.
won.
Oh, right, yeah, right, yeah.
All right. Next one is...
Whatever, John. You're the biggest chat reader there fucking is.
This is going to be the thing that tears our friggin' team apart. The next one is one word. Indignation. Indignation.
Indignation. They love one words, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Indignation.
If you're indignant, what are you? If you're indignant.
You're angry.
I'm indignant. Oh,
Nicka Mechanico.
thanks for telling me the answer.
You're welcome.
Rage?
Correct.
It's the same thing that happened with Brink. We both go periphery, the edge, bang, and we both just buzzed him.
All right. Two more, with one of them being an antonym.
You gave me the answer again.
You guys, John just wants to lose, I think. Nick wants to cheat to win, and John doesn't care. I
I
respect
was
that.
like indignant.
John hates the
I actually
patrons
don't
and
know-
doesn't want to get them games. Next one is convulsion.
The buzzer,
Convulsion.
the buzzer,
Oh,
the
yeah.
buzzer.
I don't want you to buzz. Convulsion. One word. Convulsion.
I don't know, but there's the game that involves shaking.
You absolutely know this game.
If you're convulsing, you're shaking.
Boom, boom.
Oh, you're
you go.
quaking.
Yes.
Quake.
Quake.
You're quaking.
That's good. Convulsion. You're quaking.
The very last one is an antonym. Oh no, those are going to be so hard. This one's definitely not real easy.
Buzzer,
It is.
Buzzer.
No, I want John to win. Fine, whatever. The next one is an antonym. The word is honored. Nick,
Dishonored.
incorrect. Correct.
What? What are you talking about?
It's fun to do that to you. All right.
There's a super
That's
chat.
it.
Dominic-
That is. Oh, go ahead.
Dominic Malta says, poor Jesse needs a personal assistant.
Oh no.
He does. He does. He does too much.
There, bam. I can put it right up. This is easy. This shit's easy to do. It's not. It's so cool.
Man. That was fun.
Good old Collingwood. Lucky I played Collingwood as a Collingwood supporter, playing for good old Collingwood. There you go. See, it's a sign of our
Find him
season
again.
coming
Good.
up. Next Friday, the footy's back. So,
Does Collingwood cheat a lot, or
no, Collingwood's the best. If Collingwood, yeah, now that footy's back, I may be less present
oh,
because, mate, once that footy starts,
Wow,
boy,
you'll
do
be
I
even
get
less for
involved.
the site. Holy shit, is that
Right.
possible?
I'm going to close my buzzer now, okay, and then I can bring the chat back up. So, oh look, my buzzer. Now I'll bring the chat up.
Why are you lying? You literally read the super chat.
Yeah.
Which means you were already reading the chat before you said that, you big liar.
I'm not a
So
big
you
liar.
just- You just busted yourself cheating.
He had the
I did
super
not
chat
without
window
realizing.
open. He had the super chat section of YouTube open.
Because we had it open earlier on.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay.
Dude, I'm in YouTube. Man, I really want to present my screen.
Yeah.
It really wouldn't look right.
It would look really weird. Wow.
Knew you were always cheating.
Next segment.
Mike, there's no
Yeah,
way he
I
builds up
cheated
such
so
an
well. I cheated so well that
insurmountable
game.
lead. No,
Cheated
Jesse's
so
dumb
well that
theory of
game.
losing on purpose applies to you because you have an
Oh,
insurmountable
now
lead on
now
me. So it
makes
applies
sense.
to you.
This is what's going to tear the team apart.
Makes
It's
no
true.
sense for me to just keep losing on
Honestly.
purpose so you can lead 20-4. That makes a lot of sense.
We didn't say it made sense. You're
Anyway.
Australian. It's generally not going to.
Anyway,
Anyway,
thanks, patrons, to make all these things possible.
Oh dear, brilliant.
So if you guys could all up your patron memberships to 30 so that I can go to E3, that'd be really good.
Now we got two things we need to fund: either Nick's flights to LA, or
Because John and Jesse don't have expensive flights. Mine is exorbitantly expensive.
I mean, we
so
do have
we've got a
StreamYard.
choice. We've got a GoFundMe to fund
What?
Nick's flight to LA. We can start a GoFundMe and get you out there. Or we can maybe put you in like some sort of shipping container and send you
Nah,
by
man.
freight.
I am
maybe
willing to go
overseas.
premium economy. And New Zealand's premium economy is not bad. And it's not much more expensive than regular economy.
Just normal economy, it'd be fine. Yeah,
Or
cargo. Brit's got
Nick
the right
just
idea.
No.
is on StreamYard and hangs out with us while we're there.
No. I'm the main thing that needs to be there. You gotta get me over there. Come on. And Americans love an Australian accent. Americans absolutely love an Australian accent.
How many
they-
people
they
are going
don't
to
love a
deck you the
British
moment they
accent.
realize who you are?
How many people are what?
They're going to just knock you out the moment they realize who you are.
They can try.
I've seen your
I will
legs.
equalize. I will equalize anyone who tries to mess with me.
What if it's Phil? Would you just take a
I've
punch?
watched a lot of martial arts movies, mate.
you just
If
let him
Phil
clock
wants to
you.
punch you, will you just let him for the good of the site?
Phil.
Yeah.
No way. No
Look-
chance. I'll deck him.
Then we'd have to instantly fire you.
I'll deck him.
Oh,
And then
God.
Jim Ryan will be on the phone to me saying, "Hey, we've got a position at SIE. for you. We've got an executive role at SIE just for you." What's my job? Nothing. I just want to talk to you every day about how it felt to punch Phil. That's your job.
Wow.
Oh shit! I'd take that job.
And for people wondering on the Patreon, yes, everything is set up for the movie podcast. I just need to get these two
Got to wait for John
ready.
to know a time to do a poop. When do you want to do a
Man,
movie?
I know you're
podcast?
busy.
It's so hard to find
Oh,
spare.
I thought you were going to talk about
hours.
something else.
Giggity. I don't know, man. Like, it kind of makes sense. Like, it's difficult for me, right? And the time zones are real difficult. Like for you, you do the podcast in the morning, you can just carry on with the rest of your day. It's done. For me,
but that's how
it's
it
like,
used to be for you. Remember?
Yeah, but that was like 4 a.m. or something insane for me. Like it was. But
so why don't we do the podcast on your morning then?
Because it would be really late at night for you.
No, depending on the morning, depending on what time of the morning, of course.
Our biggest audience is America, and it would be like 2 a.m.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, is this a
That
live
too, isn't
show, or is it just
This one was supposed to be live? Yes. It can be whenever live, because it's just for the patrons, and they get access to it. And the YouTube members at $5 and above, they get access to it, and so.
Yeah, see,
it's less important, isn't it?
It doesn't have to have a massive live audience. It is just something people can
That's right.
participate in.
It's for the patrons.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should probably discuss this.
Yeah.
Well, we're saying thank you to all the patrons. We got to let them know the things that are going to be.
Well, see, we're letting you in on the internal discussions. That's value for money.
That's how transparent we are.
As far as what tiers it would most likely be the higher ones. It can't just be the dollar one, most likely. I don't know. We'll see.
Dave, Nick will fight Lulu. I'll fight anyone. Doesn't matter what company they work for.
Brock Lesnar,
Xbox people, PlayStation people, Nintendo people.
Adam Boyes. He's enormous.
I'll kick the shit out of all of them.
Dave Lang. He's very big.
Okay. Bigger they are, the harder they fall.
I've never been less scared of someone.
It's like Ross. I'm going to go and kick his ass. And then they just laugh at Ross.
Poor Ross. He has a really bad time.
See, that's your get out of jail card, Nick. You just say, you mean in Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, definitely in Street Fighter. Okay, so one of the other perks, as well as hearing us discuss internal meetings live on air, one of the other perks of being a patron member is getting to ask us community questions on the forum. So without further ado, we'll go to community questions. Hi them G. The ever reliable. You always know you're going to see a question from Hi them G, don't you?
He's there every time.
Yeah, super reliable. If you guys do meet each other at E3, I do a silly meme of you guys Chad walking all together with some other guys like Miles, Rand, and whoever. Oh, speaking of punching someone, and whoever you gents meet at the place. But here is an example of my meme I did of Nintendo, Xbox, and Nvidia Chad walking of the COD for the 10-year deal. But what do you guys think of it? Funny or what? How do you even make those? I envy people that can make those GIF memes because I can't do those. It's very good.
It's fun.
It's very good, isn't it? I don't know what Chad walking is, but yeah, it's very good. P.S. My family and I moved out to Brooklyn, and now we live in Staten Island, and I'm liking it too. And now I am a basement dweller, like Creaky Legs. But true story, I was once an attic dweller. But please excuse me, I'm going to eat Italian food in Staten Island. Okay.
That's
Okay.
great.
Yes.
I like the meme.
I didn't even think of that. I can see Rand if we go to LA and kick
Might
that
see
ever-loving
Jez will be out there, wouldn't he?
shit out of Rand. I don't care if he's 6'2" or whatever the hell he is. I don't care. Kick him in the balls. What's his 6'2" going to do then? You can be 7 foot tall. If I kick you in the nuts, you're going down.
What if you're a eunuch?
It doesn't. You can be as
so
tall as you
brave.
like. It's a big height to fall from.
It's true.
It's a big, big height. Okay. 99 Rukin. Hello. It's been some time that I had asked a question or questions. So I know we're all getting tired about the Activision deal. If not, it will go through. In my opinion, if I was Microsoft, I would sell the COD IP, but keep all the studios so they can make a successor to COD or something new instead. There's some merit in that idea. It would stop everyone's arguments. Sony would no longer have a leg to stand on, and it would please the regulators to approve it. So to get to the point and question, if you were Microsoft, what would you do to get this deal done? P.S. I still want an Xbox Smash Brothers after this deal approved. Isn't that like a genius idea? Can't they technically do that? They could sell the COD IP while keeping all the studios that make it and then just make a new military shooter that's exclusive to Xbox, give it a new name, and it's made by all the Call of Duty studios. So it would be the real Call of Duty. Just, I told you that. What was that name I made up the other time at your service or whatever it is? Like, and then just give Call of Duty, sell it to someone, and they'll just make this other shooter that's not as good as Call of Duty, and that'd be it.
Yeah,
that's actually a pretty smart idea. They could do that. Like, there's no law that says they have to. Like we've said this before, there's no actual written law that says they have to keep making Call of Duty after this acquisition. They can literally just stop making it tomorrow. I know they wouldn't. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying.
Mortain saving lying Ryan.
Saving Private Jim Ryan from Brit. That's a clever name, that one. Gives a little jab on the way out. So we're not making Call of Duty anymore. We're making Saving Private Ryan. That's a good one. I like that. Because they don't have to make Call of Duty. They can just turn around and go, well, you know what? If it's so much trouble, we just won't make Call of Duty anymore. And then after like a year or two of supporting...
say Call of Duty.
What?
Chat just pointed out. You say Call of Duty.
That's the Australian pronunciation. I don't say Call of Duty like Americans do.
Duty.
I'd rather say Call of Duty than say Call of Duty.
There's a U in there, people. Duty.
I know. Duty.
No, Duty.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit there and go duty every time. It's just easy to say Call of Duty.
Americans say Call of Duty.
They Call of Duty, so Call of
Duty.
Poo. So that's
Duty.
so much worse than Call of a woman's name, Judy. Like, come on. Seriously.
Oh, man. Japes.
Call of Poop. Sorry. I'll say it properly next time. Call of Poo. Okay. Kraken 56. Hey guys, Starfield looks awesome. My question is, what do you make of the Starfield Direct being attached to the Xbox Game Showcase? Is it a sign it will be a lighter E3 for Xbox's big games again? Perhaps it is a sign of confidence that they will have plenty of AAAs to show, that they do not need Todd to be there on stage. I honestly don't know what to think of it. Love the show, listen every week. Well, we kind of talked about that before. We said that it's not an Xbox and Bethesda showcase, and you guys were like, well, that means that Bethesda probably doesn't have much to show, which is why there's a Starfield.
It's a theory, right? They've got some announced games like Indiana Jones.
Yes, that's what I said.
And that was, when was that revealed? 3 years ago?
Was that 2 years ago? A year and a half ago?
2020.
Yeah. Wasn't it?
Yeah. So it's been a while. I don't know.
When did the Bethesda acquisition actually go through?
Oh,
2021.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
I think so.
I can't even
That's
remember.
a tricky one. But
3 years just sort of went in a blur from 2020 to now.
I know, man. The whole fucking pandemic is just weird.
It's just a blur. I thought Indiana Jones was announced before the deal went through, because I remember people saying,
announced on
we don't
Phil's
know if it's
birthday, was it?
exclusive because it was announced before the deal and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I don't know. I think it was announced before the deal. I still was told Indiana Jones is exclusive. I haven't forgotten. That's one that Jez and I think Jez thinks it's multi. I was told it was exclusive, but we'll see. Okay. Jesse brother. Happy weekend, gentle gents. I know that Nick and John aren't too big on Starfield, but I do appreciate the fact that you guys don't do the typical YouTuber thing of splashing around in negativity now that we know the game is coming, not as soon as we may have hoped. Most falsely predicted by those same YouTubers. And Jess, like you told me, gives us plenty of time with Redfall and 004. My question this week is, any chance of getting Aaron Greenberg on as a guest? Or will the want for Xbox execs to avoid ABK questions keep him away? Also, after seeing that latest trailer for the Super Mario Brothers movie, I'm convinced it's going to be good. It was always going to be good. It looked good from trailer 1. Chris Pratt aside, that's looked good from the start. And Illumination got a decent track record on them. Like, I know Rise of Gru was but Despicable Me 3 was very good. Have you seen Despicable Me 3? John, you are muted.
I have seen it, but I don't agree. I realise, and you don't have to say, and I'll just repeat my sentence, and then to the audio listeners, they'll never know a thing. It'd just be like a small delay before I answered your question. But yeah, I didn't think much of Despicable Me 3.
Really?
I thought
the one with Trey Parker.
Like, I loved the whole 80s ridiculousness of it, but I was
that
just
was
like,
great.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't think a lot of Illumination films like they've got some, but the whole Minions in particular, I'm just like, ugh, in general.
And Rise of Gru did not enjoy.
The Grinch,
Despicable Me 3 was very good. Despicable Me 3 was legit good.
Do you know what I watched the other day again that I really loved? Well,
What?
I forgot how much I loved it as a movie, as a one and done. I don't know, they've done sequels, so it's no longer a one and done. A Quiet Place.
They haven't done sequels. They've only done one sequel.
There's another one coming called A Quiet Place Day One.
Really?
Yeah. But
prequel. That's right. There is. It's a prequel.
Yeah. But man, just that whole movie was just great.
It was, wasn't it?
I just like, it was short, it was sweet, it did exactly what it wanted to do. And the bit for me was the end where he got to be a dad just once. And he got to do a dad thing and do it was just a cool movie. Anyway, sorry.
65 looks good. It's from the maker of.
I read some reviews and they said it was pants.
Yeah, I don't care about reviews. I ignore reviews because every time, maybe I should read the reviews because reviews get my expectations down and then I end up liking the movie, like Ant-Man. I didn't mind Quantumania. Quantumania was fine.
Here's the thing: there are films that I classify as cinema films. Like, I have to be at the cinema to see this. Like Cocaine Bear, I'm like, I really want to see it, but it's not a cinema film. Like, I don't need to go spend 40 quid.
Yeah, I know. I'm not going to
sit in a cinema and watch it. I'll just wait for it to come out and I'll watch it then. But like big extravagant films that try to do something amazing or have big set pieces, yeah, maybe I want to see that on the big screen. And 65, I was kind of hopeful, but I've read several reviews and none of them are particularly glowing. And I'm like,
no, I don't care. That movie looks so good. Like, and I love the concept. It's kind of like Planet of the Apes with a dash of Jurassic Park with what I assume is a dash of time travel story. Because it sounds like... Nope. I'm saying it sounds like... It looks like there's humans. There must be humans on another planet and they come to Earth at 65 million BC or whatever it is when we're still in the Jurassic Age. And they've discovered these dinosaurs. So these humans aren't from Earth. They've come to Earth from another planet that has humans on it and happens to have the English language. That's
it's kind of like that. But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I want to see it, and there are plenty of films where I
love that. That's a wacky, cool concept. It's a movie. It doesn't have to be real life. It's fine. I think that's fun. Do you not
get irritated when they have a good premise and then they blow it? That's where it bugs me. That's where I'll be disappointed.
Okay. So have you seen this should be in the movie podcast? Have you seen Shyamalan's new movie?
No, it's on my list. I've got a copy.
I'm gonna technically spoil something for you, but I'm doing it to make you enjoy them.
This is
the first time
knock on the Cabin of the Woods thingy, isn't it?
Whatever it is, yeah. Knock at the door. I can't remember.
Yeah, knock at the cabin. You had it. Knock at the cabin.
It's the first time that a spoiler is going to make you enjoy a movie more. If someone had given me this spoiler, I would have enjoyed the movie for what it was. So, it's a Shyamalan movie. Thank you. When you go into a Shyamalan movie, what do you look for? You look for the twist. You spend the whole movie trying to figure out the twist before it gets revealed. So I'm watching this movie and I'm enjoying it, but the whole time my brain's ticking over. I'm like, what's the twist? What's the twist? What's the twist? End comes and I was like, where was the twist? There was no twist. I'm like, so I'm Googling. I'm like, maybe I missed it. Maybe I'm just a real dummy that missed the twist. So I'm Googling, what's the twist in Knock at the Cabin or whatever. The twist is that there was no twist. I'm like, I wish I had known that. I would have enjoyed the movie so much more on face value if I wasn't constantly looking for a twist. It's a good movie. Just to watch it for what it is. Just watch this movie. Pretend it's not made by Shyamalan. So you get the twist part out of your head. Because there is no twist. And I know that's spoiling the movie for you, but it's also allowing you to enjoy the movie properly for what it is.
Yeah.
It's a good film.
Can I make a suggestion while we're on the subject of the movie podcast?
Yeah.
You may.
I had an idea, right? And chat, let us know what you think about this, especially patrons. That as well as talking about current movies or things we've just recently seen that are new, every month that we do this, we have to, in turns, pick a classic movie that the other party hasn't seen. And then watch it.
Like
and
me
talk
with
about that. Shawshank. Where you came back and went, yeah, it's okay. And I'm like, you're fucking what, bro? It's a perfect movie.
That's why I don't watch these classic movies, because the expectations are too high. I haven't seen The Godfather.
It always reminds me,
Never
whenever I
seen The
hear someone talk
Godfather.
about The Godfather, there's a Family Guy skit where they're all about to drown. And Peter Griffin goes, something I don't want to confess. I did not care for The Godfather. Everyone's like, what? It's a perfect movie. He's like, I didn't care for it. It always cracks me up because I remember Christmas like 2002. Someone got me a Godfather Part 1, 2, and 3 box set. I've seen them all. I was like, I've seen them all already, right? But they got me a specifically like super cool box set, and I'm like, why? I mean, it's okay. I don't love The Godfather. Like, who told you this? And I was like, really like, it's like and then that scene always pops in my head. Did I care for the? It's okay. It's a good movie, but Shawshank's a.
I have not seen The Godfather. I have not seen it at all.
The thing is, I prefer Godfather Part 2, but yeah.
Well, I always hear that that's considered like one of the best sequels ever, I think.
I prefer Part 3. No, I'm kidding. No one prefers.
Okay.
Apparently, that's really bad. So again,
it's fine. It's just not a great. It doesn't hold up to the other two. It's an okay movie.
I've seen all 3 Exorcist movies. Yeah. Oh my god, Exorcist 2.
Oh my god, my PC's
is so bad, so bad. Like, it's not just bad compared to, like, even if Exorcist 1 didn't exist to taint and set the standard, Exorcist 2 would have just been a shite movie regardless. Like, but the fact that it comes after the original Exorcist, I remember I was watching it. I was staying at my cousin's house and I'm watching it. It was like 2 a.m. and I saw The Exorcist 2. I'm like, oh, wow, I've never seen this movie. So I'm watching it. I'm like, what the fuck is this film? It's the whole movie. Reagan, is her name Reagan? She's on like a psych's couch talking about what happened to her. And they do these weird semi-flashback things. And that's the whole movie. That's all it is. I'm like, what? Exorcist 3? Not bad. Actually, not bad.
Have you seen
not too bad.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
No.
See, now, that was a classic movie that, as myself as a confessed, like, I love film, I'd never seen. So I finally sat down and watched it the other week. It was really good.
We have more community questions.
I know. I'm sorry.
As to Aaron Greenberg,
I don't like. So we can't get any Xbox people on unless we go through Xbox PR, and it's difficult. They don't invite us to Redfall.
We'll try.
Do you guys know that there is an Exorcist sequel coming out this year? It is a sequel to the first movie. They're just ignoring the other two.
Isn't it the
they
Pope's
should ignore?
Exorcist
They should especially
it's
ignore number
The
2.
Exorcist.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So it's a sequel
to the
movie
original
called The Exorcist.
Yep.
And it's called The Exorcist.
Yep.
We're releasing a new sequel to Terminator. It's called The Terminator. We're forgetting that Terminator 2 exists, and we're calling Terminator 2 The Terminator.
Wow.
Hey, hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's good. And hopefully it's not one of it. Hopefully it doesn't follow the pattern of all those other stupid modern horror movies where they think of all the cool, scary scenes for the trailers and then make the movie after the fact.
Like,
God, I hate that trend.
Did you watch
like
Megan?
Every horror movie, except The Barbarian, like almost every horror movie of the last 10 or 15 years, you can tell there's some person that thinks of all these cool, scary scenes to show in the trailer to get people in the door. So people go, wow, look how scary this looks. And then once you watch the movie, you realize that they thought of the scary scenes first and then wrapped the rest of the movie around those, like tried to cram a movie in between the scary sequences. And it's just like where you can tell, like you can just tell when a horror movie's been made properly, like The Barbarian. You can just tell.
I agree.
And yes, to answer your question, John, that actually was the initial premise that I put forward was sometimes we watch new stuff, but a lot of it is just you guys figuring out things that maybe one of you hasn't seen, the other recommends. So yes, that is definitely.
What's that Skinamarink? That Skinamarink movie?
Not seen that.
Oh my god, it's not good. It's like a found footage horror movie.
Oh, okay. I'm out.
Oh my god, it's the worst. Okay, good old Collingwood. Congrats on the win,
the victory
on your name a game win. Hello, John, Nick, and Jesse. It's too early for questions for Sick and Nick's Flicks. Well, we just did quite a tangent.
Yeah,
but this is one that can't wait. In just over a day, it's Academy Awards time. I don't expect you have all seen all of the best film award nominees. But of those you have watched, what did you think of those? What are your thoughts about films, performances, etc. nominated for other awards? Or, on the other hand, are you not into the whole awards occasion? Oh boy, here we go. I mean, we all know, I feel like Oscar bait is less prevalent now than it once was. Like, in the early 2000s, in the late 90s, early 2000s, like Oscar bait was a full-blown thing. Like it was just a known thing. Once the English Patient just confirmed it, that Oscar bait was a thing when that terrible movie won. I had hope for the Academy Awards when The Departed won. The Departed won Best Picture, didn't it? Didn't it?
I don't know if it won Best Picture.
I
could be wrong. They were nominees. I don't know if they won.
Best Picture. I'm sure The Departed won. Yeah, it did. It won Best Picture at the 79th Awards. And Departed was like...
It was a great movie.
Hello. Incredible. But I feel like Oscar bait is less of a thing because the Academy probably realized that if we keep giving shit movies these awards, people are going to stop watching. Because remember how they flirted with the idea of a blockbuster award?
Yeah.
And then they quickly pulled it. They were going to have an award, a Best Picture award, specifically for like big budget Marvel action, whatever movies. And then they very quickly went back on that. That was to me the moment they realized, hey guys, we've got to stop giving garbage Oscar bait Best Picture and start giving it to good movies.
The worst Oscar bait movie I ever saw was Will Smith in £7. Did you ever see this?
Which one was that?
This is where he had, or he'd caused, vaguely, he'd caused the death by accident, like a driving accident. He caused 7 people to die. So he figured out a way to kill himself, but preserve his body. So he's like in a fridge and everything. And he went and found all these people that were suffering, that were like needed corneas for their eyes, or needed heart, or needed lungs. And he found all these terminally ill people, and he wrote down all their names and addresses. And then he killed himself with like some fucking fish in a bathtub to make sure that all of those things got to the right people. And it was so like trying to target your heartstrings. And it was just like, Will, this isn't how you get an Oscar, bro. You get it from, going up on stage and smacking someone else in the face.
Smacking someone.
But yeah, it was terrible. But yes, I agree with you. I think Oscar bait has died somewhat, and they're just letting cool films kind of come to the forefront.
And I'm not saying Marvel movies should win Best Picture. That's never going to happen. And they're usually not great films in their own right.
No.
But we just want to see good movies win Best Picture, like The Departed. Everything Everywhere All at Once good
It's an
movie.
incredible movie.
Really
it is
good
the
movie.
most award-winning movie of all time now. It has surpassed Return of the King.
Wow.
Really?
Yep. It is winning everything everywhere, all at different times.
All at once.
No, different times. So not the shows have not been
Do
in
you
the
know
same
what's
day.
crazy to me is my parents, they brought me up on sci-fi, and I watched everything everywhere it was. I was like, guys, you've got to see this movie. Like, we tried it, we didn't understand. And I was like, what? You guys love a temporal anomaly and a parallel universe? You grew up on Star Trek, for fuck's sake. Like,
and it's a basic premise. Like the actual premise of what that movie is about is pretty.
It's really simple, and I absolutely loved it. But of the nominees, I've seen Top Gun Maverick. I've yet to see Banshees of Inisherin.
Top Gun Maverick is nominated for Best Picture.
Mhm.
Seriously?
There are 10 of them now, so you get a lot more.
All Quiet on the Western Front is on the watch list for tomorrow. I don't really care about watching
Top Gun
Elvis.
Maverick.
Mate, if you think about, I went into Top Gun Maverick thinking I would get nothing but just like a run-of-the-mill action. What I got was exquisitely made movie.
It was all right.
It's a great
and I love
movie.
that director. You know how I feel about that director. And
It's
Top
a
Gun
great
Maverick was
movie.
far better than the original, which was a straight up terrible
Yeah.
movie.
Yes, it was.
But best, oh my God, I should not have watched the original because I didn't watch it back then as a
It's
kid.
so
I watched it
bad.
like last year. I watched the original last year. And that was bad even by 80s movie standards.
Yeah,
like
it was terrible film.
Kickboxer was better than Top Gun.
Wow.
Bloodsport was better than Top Gun. Like, Top Gun was just...
Kick the tires and light the fires,
Did
Big
you get
Daddy.
to see a tighty-whitey volleyball game in either of those movies? I don't think so.
No, you did not.
You got to see
Who-
Van Damme not wearing very much at all, which is even better.
Got way more men. Not
You
wearing
got to
them.
see Van Damme kicking a bamboo tree down and nearly broke his shin doing it. And in Bloodsport, Bloodsport. what
Donald Trump's
classic-
favorite movie.
Is it really?
Oh yeah, he watches it, and his son is. They know exactly when to fast forward because he skips every non-fighting scene.
That's amazing.
Yep, Don Jr. knows exactly where to jump to on the DVD.
Bloodsport is so good. Like, seriously, Bloodsport is a classic martial arts movie. It's so good. It's way better than Top Gun.
Nick, I've got
The
a movie for
Fablemans.
you.
Fablemans is a good film.
Not seen it.
Bit of a letdown ending. I mean, it's Fablemans. Like, it's based on Steven Spielberg's life, so you don't expect it to have some cool twist or anything. But I don't know. The ending just felt very meh. It just felt kind of like a nothing. I don't know. I don't know. But it's not a bad movie. Avatar, I have not seen and do not plan to see it for quite
I've
some
seen it.
time.
It's
I'll
a
wait for-
visual. It's stunning,
Deal.
but it's a
deal.
run of the mill movie.
Yeah, just like the first one.
But James Cameron
Just like the
knows.
first one.
James Cameron knows how to direct action, and I want to see. I would love to see him direct a Halo movie, but anyway. I
Yeah.
digress.
It would be one of the
Like that
worst
guy, wouldn't it?
plots of ever because he sucks at
But- No,
everything writing.
he's got the plot, but he would make it all of the fight stuff and all the CG stuff would just look ridiculously.
All the
good.
dialogue would be
It would look
terrible.
very good.
Nah, come on. T2's dialogue's great.
Sure.
The Abyss.
I still want to see. I still wish. I'd love to have the power to see alternate timelines. Like, I still want to see the Halo movie that Blomkamp was making.
Nah, it's a dream. It's dead. It's dead, man.
I know that. I know. Did
I
you hear
know.
what I said? Did you
I
even
did
listen to
hear-
what I
did
said?
hear, but it's not happening. Stop bracing the hopes. It's not
Because
happening,
God,
bro.
District 9 was
was a
And
complete
Chappie,
breath of fresh
wait.
air.
District 9. The CG in District
Chappie.
9. Chappie, I like Chappie.
Chappie
Yeah.
was
Not like
terrible.
Chappie.
Elysium was even worse.
Elysium wasn't good. You didn't like Chappie? Just on even
Nah.
a dumb fun level? Really?
No, that was just shit.
Oh, I
was
thought
just
Chappie was
shit.
hilarious.
I
I watched Chappie for what it was. It's just a silly, dumb, like, I like Chappie. Chappie was very funny. He had the gold chains on.
so bad.
I thought Chappie was funny. But, like, because I wondered how Blomkamp made District 9 CG look so good on such a small budget. And it's because that's what he was. He was a VFX artist. That's what he originally was.
Yeah.
So he brought
He
his
used to do
expertise
adverts.
and saved himself a lot of money on paying probably a massive CG studio. And because 30 million budget for District 9, 30 million, that's off the charts for a movie that looks that way.
Yeah.
I love how beautifully that movie blended a big budget look with something small and intimate, because it was all just basically set in that slum.
Yeah.
Oh my God, District 9.
They did a good
What
job.
a movie.
They did a good job.
All right, don't move, John.
Don't
move. Just stay
I've got
there.
yeah, no, sorry. I've got a challenge for you.
Yeah.
Have you seen Gross Point Blank?
No, I haven't.
Right.
That should be our first movie.
That's it. That's your challenge movie. Go.
Why?
This month you've got to watch Gross Point Blank.
Why that movie?
Because it's one of my favorites. It's in my top 10 movies of all time. It's a
It's
classic.
it's a good movie. I like it quite a bit.
There's a lot of classic movies that I've never seen. Like I've never seen what's that one with Liv Tyler, Steve
Stealing
Zahn?
Beauty.
No. Liv Tyler and Steve Zahn. Radio. What's that movie? And
That Thing You Do.
Yes, That Thing You Do, and Tom Hanks is in it.
Movie sucked.
Isn't it?
Fucking hate
Oh,
that
did
movie.
it?
I don't know. I
hate the song.
I probably have at some
Oh
point.
God.
But
Have you
yeah,
seen
John
Along
Cusack-
Came Polly?
a long time ago.
Mate. I'm big on my comedies though. Like
Yeah,
40-Year-Old Virgin. 40-Year-Old Virgin is just one of the funniest movies ever made.
Comedy for
Like-
me is a real hit or miss. It's a real hit or miss. It's what I think you've used the analogy before. Like American comedy is a little bit like a shotgun blast. It's a catch-all, right?
Nah, see, I prefer American comedy to British.
See, and I prefer perhaps more. And this is where I'm intrigued to see how you find Gross Point Blank, because I think it's quite black humor. It's very dark.
I'm okay with that. Here's a movie you need to watch that I'm willing to bet you have not seen. Very Bad Things.
It rings a bell.
Cameron Diaz, Jon Favreau, Christian Slater, Jeremy Piven. They go on a Bucks night. They go on Jon Favreau's getting married to Cameron Diaz, and they have their Bucks night, and they get into a lot of trouble on this Bucks night. Very Bad Things. Like, I watched that at the cinema because back in the old days, you used to go to the cinema for all movies because it didn't used to cost $1,073 for two people to go to the movies. I watched Very Bad Things, and that movie gets so dark and depressing, but it's still a fantastic movie. You're watching it. By the end of that movie, I was so down, I couldn't believe what I had just seen. I'm telling you. What?
Yeah, I'm looking at some reviews here, bro. They're not being kind.
Don't stop reading reviews.
Bro,
Very Bad Things is a great movie. Just go watch it.
Okay, I'll go. That's the next one. I challenged you with Gross Point Blank first, then we'll hit it up with Very Bad Things.
Very Bad Things. Oh boy. I watched it when I was I think 18. I think I was 18 when I watched it. And oh my God.
Okay.
By the end of that movie. Also, you want to watch a surprisingly dark movie and depressing? Click. Adam Sandler.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh boy.
Surprisingly, I hate Adam Sandler movies as a general rule. Yeah, all of them. Yes, that one. Yes, that one as well. But Click, I was like, that got dark.
That's
probably his best
real
movie.
dark.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. I watched it thinking, because again, the way they advertise Click, they advertise that like a normal Adam Sandler comedy. Yay, Adam Sandler. Then you watch it and you're just like, whoa. How the hell, man, that's an example of what the movie podcast is going to be like.
We do have to try and find things that people can also watch on streaming services. So it looks like Gross Point Blank is on Disney Plus outside of the US. Within the US, I don't think you can stream it.
Okay, well, I've got Disney Plus, so that's fine.
For the audience, I agree.
DA game. Next, we've got 3 community questions left. DA game. Hyle, do you reckon we'll see Microsoft try the next 12 months thing again? Hell no. They could not be that dumb. They couldn't be that dumb. They couldn't be. They couldn't possibly be that dumb, could they?
I don't know, man. I could say, even though they put all the caveats in the world around it, and the people covering the industry know that game development is hard. No, let's hold them to task over 2 games that were.
That's what I'm saying. They couldn't be that dumb to do it again, knowing all that.
I could just be stubborn and be like, "Fuck you, media."
What if they just add in the word targeting during the show? Because targeting was in all their material. It was on their blog posts. It was in their images. These are all targeting 12 months, but in the show, they just said coming in the next 12 months. You change that to targeting the next 12 months, then you can tell people to blow it up their ass.
Even if Sarah Bond gets up on that stage and says, these are the games we hope you will be playing in the next 12 months, people are still going to hold them to account and say, Microsoft signed a contract that said, I'm playing this game in the next 12 months. You know that's what they're going to do. So just, you know what? Just shut up and don't say anything.
Just say the next 6 months.
Shut up and don't say anything. Here's some games. We don't know when they're coming. Shut up. Done. Finished. Just don't back yourself into a corner. If you know a person is smart, people are stupid. If you know people are stupid, then just try and avoid that trouble.
Holy
just
shit.
Try and avoid that trouble.
Do you want to know something absolutely crazy? So Top just shouted out in the chat, how comes the site's main page has been flipped? Everything that was on the left is now on the right. I loaded it up, and it's not only it did a massive takeover of Guilty Gear Strive, but only the PS4 and PS5 editions on the Xbox Zero website, even though it's on fucking Game Pass, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it takes over the whole freaking site. But the site's fine, but it's taken over the whole site with PS4, PS5 ads.
I'm seeing ads for all sorts of different stuff when I go onto the site.
Oh,
there you go. I can show it to you, Nick.
NRL betting odds, mansion wedding.
It's on the main screen. This is what it looks like if you look at this stream.
Oh wow, that's not what I see. That's not what I see when I go on the site.
Like, I think I clearly need to contact our ad partner and be like, "Hey guys, bit frustrating to advertise."
It's completely messed up our formatting. Like, this latest section is all backwards.
Oh wow, look at that! It is too. Holy crap! It's right aligned everything. Wow. Okay.
Hey, look at that. Look at these playlists that are all updated for once. That'll happen every week now.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
Yeah, that was a good episode.
Anyway, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, I don't think they'll try it again. I refuse to accept that they're that dumb.
I loved it. I hope they do it again. I hope they do it every time.
Yeah, that's fine for us that aren't dummies. I'm talking about them accounting for the dummies.
Stop playing to the dummies. Tell the dummies to go eat
shit. But they have to, because there are dummies with actual influence. So they have to play to the dummies.
Pay them off.
J White 723. Hey guys, I've noticed a lot of people complaining about the graphical and performance issues in the Xbox Series versions of games compared to the PS5. Hypothetically speaking, if Sony did make deals with these developers, I mean, Sony doesn't do that, do they? That's why they asked the CMA if Microsoft would do it.
God, you're so much louder when you actually look at your mic.
I'm sorry. Would they be required to share them with the FTC and Microsoft, along with the other exclusivity deals? We're probably about to find out when Sony has to give up their documents. But, you know, I don't know why Sony would bring up versions being sabotaged. That's not a practice that happens, is it?
No, heaven forbid.
That doesn't happen in the industry. Why would Sony bring that up? I don't understand. That is curious. Why would Sony bring up sabotaging versions of games if it's not a thing that happens? What would give them the idea that Microsoft would intentionally sabotage Call of Duty when the Minecraft PS5 version is better than the Xbox version? Interesting. Anyway, I'm sure I'm just looking into that too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last one.
Top. Hello, Nick, John, and Jesse. I couldn't think of a topical question this week. So, Nick, how is the Mocha Pot coffee? I've been asked that before. P.S. Please stop having all the great guests while I'm away somewhere. I've talked about the Mocha Pot coffee before. I need to get... I did use it. And the issue for me with the Mocha Pot coffee thing is that it's a bit wasteful. You have to use a lot of coffee, and it makes like 3 coffees. And I only might just have my one. Like, it makes like 3. And the other problem is, if I show you a picture of my hot plate thing set up, stove hot plate set up, the prongs that sit above, the mocha just teeters right on the edge of just spilling straight over. So I also don't know how to solve that problem. I don't know how to solve that problem. And the powder that Mocha make, the coffee grounds that Mocha make, that Bialetti, that brand, are not very good. But that's an easy problem to solve because I could buy my own. That's fine.
Yeah, it's particularly
I know why you
good
got the ones
for
that came with it.
iced coffees in the summer because you make a big pot. You might have a hot coffee first thing in the morning. As that sun starts to heat up, you've got the rest of the pot left over. Get some evap, some ice. Lovely.
Yeah. Maybe.
Trust me, bro.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's all the community questions.
That's it.
That's everything.
3-hour podcast. 3 hours.
Yeah. And I reckon half of that was talking about movies.
And ABK.
And ABK. Hey, when we do that, though, it actually makes the timestamps easier. Because I know I can just keep skipping through to the next timestamp. Where last week with Cliffy,
all over the shop.
Oh my God, those timestamps. There's actually, if you go through those timestamps, I don't know if you looked at them. There's one timestamp that's like, I give up. I don't know what to do with these timestamps. Like, I'm like, I give up. This is too hard. I'm done. Because Cliffy's like, first we're talking about the Pussycat Dolls. And then we start talking about something else. And then we start talking about, and I'm like, we don't stay on a topic for more than 30 seconds.
Cliff brings up multiple topics. There you
go. That's what I said. I think I said that in the timestamp. I'm like, we talk about a whole bunch of stuff. I give up. I don't know what to do about these timestamps. It was so full on. This week's easy. We talk about ABK for like an hour. Then we have a movie tangent for like 45 minutes. It's actually easier to do the timestamps when that happens. But yeah, anyway, still 150 people watching. We almost got to 200 likes. 3 more, guys. Can we get to 3 more likes to get us to 200? Nice,
I'll just go down. Number. We'll lose like 80.
I'm sure that of the 157 still watching, there must be 3 that haven't hit that like button. Come on. Hit it. Please hit it.
Hey,
look at that. Oh, look at that.
Wow,
what legends.
Look at that.
What legends.
Legendary community. Legendary community.
Well done. But if you want us to do an impromptu Sick and Nick's Flicks right now, hit that like button.
If we get 100 more $30 patrons, we'll do it right after this.
Oh my God. I don't know. I need to figure out a time frame that is a good time to do it. It's brutal.
Yeah.
Like we can make it not live if it's just not going to work for now.
I think that would make it easier to organize because
it would.
Frankly,
or it can be live, but whenever, like we just go live whenever it works for us, and people can if they can show up, they can show up because it doesn't matter. It's not going to be differently predicted.
But we have to have a hard limit. Like, it has to be like a 45-minute show or something.
Like that.
Right? No, I'm not doing a fucking 3-hour podcast on top of that. It's like.
But I reckon I could talk about movies even more than I could talk about games.
Nah, because we've got to be specific. Like we've got to be specific about like 2 films or what's on.
If we right now get to 215 likes, we'll do Sick and Nick Flicks episode 1 right now.
Will we?
No, we won't.
Yes.
Nick Mechanico does not represent Xbox Era in this matter.
We'll do it right now. We'll play the video and everything. We'll change the layout. We'll do episode 1.
I literally could do that right now, but I mean, no.
That's what I'm saying. I've got a public holiday tomorrow, and I don't have to be anywhere till like 6, 7 o'clock tonight. I can talk about movies. We're at 2:08. The people want to see Sick and Nick's Flicks episode 1 right
one
now.
other thing we had talked about was doing like post shows, just hanging out with chat and just talking to chat and shooting the shit.
Yeah, I could do that too.
For patrons. Yeah, that could be something we do.
Yeah.
Because that Game Pass show probably never happened with One Bad Leader.
Well, we could. Hey, let's jump on
209 Sick and Nick's Flicks episode 1 coming up.
I'll come play Halo Infinite with
210
people.
Keeps going up.
It's not happening. It's not happening.
It's a 215. 208 again. Oh,
Good people. Sick needs sleep. He's got young
210. Back
children.
up to 210.
You young children to look after.
5
all
more.
right?
5 more.
I'm just gonna
Sick
go.
and
I'm just
Nick's
gonna go.
Flicks Episode
Ciao for
1.
now. Ciao for now.
We'll talk
Ciao for
211.
now.
We'll
Ciao for
talk
now.
about there must be a new movie we've both seen that we can quickly talk about. What's a new
No,
movie?
I'm already going to bed. This is torture. I'm tired. I've had a very long day.
Okay. Anyway, it's been
Your
fun.
mission, Nick. Gross Point Blank.
Gross
Got nothing
Point
to do for the day. Gross
Maybe
Point
I'll
Blank.
sail the high seas.
Go in blind. You go in blind. Gross Point Blank, and then we'll talk.
It's on Disney Plus, right?
That's what
It
the man
should-
says.
I don't know what countries. I just know it's not in America, but otherwise it seems to be on Disney Plus.
Okay.
But yes,
Maybe
I will
we
hit
should
up
watch-
the forums and let people know once we've got this first schedule of Sick and Nick Flicks set.
Maybe we should watch the new House Party.
No.
Can we make it
no.
that
The
we watch
2023
good
house-
movies for this
John Wick
podcast?
4. Let's go.
John Wick 4,
Oh,
yeah.
John Wick 4.
Hopefully it's not like 2
Man.
or 3, which are both terrible.
Have you seen The Raid
What?
1 and 2, Nick?
No.
Oh,
It's one of
they
those
were-
movies I've always meant to watch, The Raid.
What the fuck? Yeah, you need to watch
Yeah.
The Raid and The Raid 2.
Yeah, they're both great in very different ways. I think
Yeah,
John Wick
I
2
love
and
the-
3 had great action, but I did not like the stories in those movies.
Yeah, John
Be like-
Wick's 1 was the best one. I like
Yeah.
nobody as well did a better
Oh,
John
yeah,
Wick.
yeah. Look, John Wick 1 is the... I'm not going to deny that John Wick 1's not the best John Wick.
Go
but
another 20
2 and
minutes on
3
movies.
Okay, no, I'm going to bed. That's it.
2 and 3
It's the
are
end of the
still
podcast. It's the
fantastic
end of the show.
action movies in their own right. Anyway,
end of the show.
ciao for now.
There he is. Right, goodbye, everyone. We love you lots.
Podcast is powered by Control. Control is a meal replacement and functional foods business whose mission is to improve the lifestyles of gamers and content creators by making them healthier. Their meal replacement shakes and meal on the go bars are the best tasting products in their category while also giving you all the protein, vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients you need to keep you going. Check out drinkcontrol.com and try out the sample kits to see what all the hype is about.